Across to there. I'll play some sound just to see if it's sound coming through. Yeah, that's Tune's opening thing, so that worked. Zebulon said I didn't know which one to click on. Well, this one, Zeb. Try this one.
Yeah, don't click on the other one. You won't get very far.
Yeah, try this one.
And 47 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah. So hopefully this one's all running. I can't see any problems so far. All the sounds the same. Scenes are the same. And hopefully this one doesn't crash, this version. It's 26, so I'm two versions short of the 28. Okay, so did we end up with it many people back from before? I don't know how many was in the first lot.
We're getting there.
I didn't even look on the first stream to see how many people were here.
Well, I tend to go by more who's in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Fred and Judy, and Zeb so far.
Yeah, Zeb. So you went slowly but surely. I think we're getting back.
Yeah.
I think most regulars are now, given the last 2 or 3 streams, are used to the technical difficulties that you've been suffering. And if your stream suddenly stops, quick, go back to YouTube. There's going to be another one with only particularly if we've only just started. You know.
If this stream went smoothly, everything went to plan, everything was formulated, production values were high, it'd be a boring stream.
It's the quirkiness that makes it, I think, yeah.
Like with Alan's feedback with his mic all the time, and the OBS crashing, and Timbo Turtle losing his shell, and Matt can't get a word in sideways. Blue won't shut up.
Just never stops, does he?
Yeah.
I moved the microphone a bit. It fixed it.
Oh, okay.
It's true, actually. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I can't hear myself. I don't think I can.
I think this computer's got a bit fucked. The noise cancelling couldn't handle it being that close to the speaker.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Looks like Paul's got a scientist over there, but LL.
Yeah.
LL.
Do you want a clue, do you?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue.
He hasn't given it yet, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't got a clue who it is.
Is there?
Louis?
3 letters?
Lou, I mean.
Lou.
Lee, yeah.
Lee. Len.
Yeah.
I hate to invoke it. Leo.
Les.
Les.
Yeah.
That's not Les Dennis. No. Because it's not.
Okay.
I'll give you a clue. It's none of those. And he was Russian.
So, it contributed to theoretical physics in many ways: quantum mechanical theory, diamagnetism, theory of superfluidity, and superconductivity. He also developed a theory for fairy fluids and two-component theories of neutrinos. Oh, that bloke.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. That's him.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without
We've gone
results to Google, not a clue.
Yeah.
All right.
Google first name starting with L, 3 letters.
Yeah, see how that goes.
Oh, come on. I gave you a hint. He was Russian.
I'm trying to think of Russian 3-letter first names.
Oh, come on. That's easy.
Is it?
Is it?
Nothing springs to mind at the moment. Hang on. What books have I got on Russian tanks? That might help. Twice a Russian name. I die, God bloody. 3 letters. No, Lex. It's not. No, Lex isn't Russian.
Not Lex, no.
So it's not Lex Luthor then?
No, it's not Lex Luthor.
It's not Lex Luthor, no.
Well, that fits as well.
Am I the only one in Zoom at the moment?
Not that I know of.
No,
No, we're all here.
we're all here.
Okay.
I'm in now.
Because for some reason I can only see my thing on the side. I wonder why that is.
You haven't double clicked.
I can see your chat.
Paul?
Your view?
What?
What about your view up the top right-hand corner? Is it tiled or?
That's better. Yeah, now I can see everyone. Yep.
Was you on speaker and not gallery?
I don't know.
Probably.
Whatever it is, I've fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if you're on speaker, you'll only get one at a time, and if you're speaking, you should. Hang on, let's try.
Yeah.
You should just see. You'll just see one at a time. Yeah.
You can hide
Yeah.
self-view. You can hide non-video participants.
If farmers, you'll like this one. How to confuse your cat. Put the 2 different types of food they like down at the same time.
Yeah.
Spend a couple of minutes going backwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's nice. Oh, but that one's nice too. Oh, but that one's nice.
Oh, yeah. No, that does work because
Yeah. Funny.
Earlier on, because the downstairs cat, Bubble, she has to take treatment. I think she's got an overactive thyroid, so she has to have this drug every morning. The only way she'll take it is if I get a bit of tuna and put it in a bowl, and then put the drug on top of it, because it's a liquid. And you have a little syringe. You have to have a certain amount, so that gets squirted on, and that gets put down on the floor. What she generally does now is just lick the medicine off and leave the tuna. I thought fine, as long as you've taken the medicine. If I have a bowl of cereal like I did this morning, there's milk left over. Oh, she loves the milk. Put the bowl with the milk in next to the bowl with the tuna in. That's not too far away from their cat food and their water bowl. And she's screwed. She's just like.
I don't know which one I have now.
And then she just sit and look up at me and go, oh yeah. Oh, she just hasn't got a clue. And it's like she'll come into the kitchen, and if I think, oh, I better top the water up a little bit, she'll just sit there. And as soon as I take the water bowl up to fill it up, she's like, I wanted water. I didn't want it then, but I want it now because you've taken the water bowl away. When you fill it up and put it back down, she go, nah.
I want it now.
They're as bad as kids. And sometimes I just want to get them by the scruff of the neck and go, bloody sort yourselves out, bang your heads together. But
Make your mind up.
at least for kids, you can talk to them and try and get some sort of rationale for why they just constantly argue for every minute they're awake. But cats, it's a one-way thing. And it's just like, yeah, you go and see now. That's what it is. Oh, dear.
So
Hours and hours of fun.
Lev Landau.
Lev. Yeah, but that's a contraction, isn't it? Lev.
No,
Oh, Timbo's
not.
got his turtle up.
Lev's
It has
a
been for a while.
pretty common Russian name.
Yeah, he found his turtle, Matt. Where you been?
Making tea.
Ah,
He couldn't hear because someone was talking over him. Unfortunately, he's a bit wonky because something went wrong. So it's not working right.
move him over there. That's it. No, the other way.
His head should be turning, but watch his eyes. When I turn my head, his eyes go funny. I don't know if you can see that. There you go.
Oh yeah, so sort of like he's squinting or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that.
He's probably needs glasses.
I think what it was because I had him on the laptop. I had the laptop turned on when I opened up, but on this computer, and I think something went wrong with the file between the two transfers, and all the settings that I had saved on the laptop haven't transferred over. So I got to try and work out what's not set properly. Anyway, he sort of works.
Anyway,
His head's a bit tall.
I've just found a list of people named Lev on Wikipedia, and I've just gone through them and thought, I haven't heard of any of you. Not one.
Are you a Star Wars fan, Farmers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lev.
Think of a L name in Star Wars.
Lando Calrissian.
Actually, the character or the actor?
Character.
Oh, fuck me, I don't know. Not that big a fan.
There was Martin Landau though, wasn't there?
Oh, Martin Landau. I'm very familiar with the Lando surname, but just not Lev. I've just not really come across. I just look at these names now and I think I haven't heard of any of you.
I guess that would have been the 18th, 19th century equivalent of being named after some sports car with the Landau surname.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe the sports car was named after someone. That's usually the way it works, Alan.
Yes.
They don't usually name people after cars, Alan.
Well, you do get kids that are named after cars nowadays.
I suppose other than in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you've got Ford Prefect.
Well, yeah, but we all know why he called himself Ford Prefect.
Yeah, my mate Rolls Royce has always had a problem with it, and Holden Commodore and Ford Cortina.
You know where
I met
the
him
name
down the street.
Landau comes from in connection to cars, don't you? It's a city in Germany.
Well, as long as it says Lev and not Bev, eh?
Yeah.
Careful.
If it was Bev, he wouldn't be winning a Nobel Prize. He would be winning an Ig Nobel
Prize.
Yeah.
Oh, Irish Jew. Go yourself. Is he known as Lev L to his mates?
But Tish.
12. I'm just thinking, should I add something to this tea? Like, I don't know, half a bottle of Grey Goose. Which I now have plenty of. Yeah, I'd looking at all of these Levs, all these supposedly famous Levs, and I'm thinking, no. Lev Narishkin. He was a Russian general in the Napoleonic Wars, apparently. No. Oh, there's Lev Landau. There we go. Yeah, no. Never heard of any of them.
But you have to admit now that it is a pretty common Russian name.
Well, apparently so.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that comes close is the actor, but he's Lev, not Lev. Lev Schreiber.
So, did anyone actually peruse this Toon video at all?
I've watched about the first hour of it earlier on this morning, and
the first bit where they've got that idiot from the 24/7 Tartaria conspiracy thing is just nonsense, rubbish.
Yeah.
But then Witsit comes on, and yeah, that's probably better.
So that's the
Better
first
portion of
hour
it.
out of the question. Okay.
Oh, SE did make a quick showing, but that was
Yeah. That was
Which way?
typical.
which way's
Yeah.
down on the globe Earth? What? You're actually
Yeah.
asking that? Yeah.
I know. Like, how dumb can you be?
I mean, is
And
there,
so he
is there,
always pushes the limits of dumbness, doesn't he?
I mean, is there no other answer apart from down at your feet?
So, well, it on the Earth, down is towards the centre of the Earth. That's
Correct.
it.
Right.
Wherever
Yeah,
you
and-
are,
and-
down is towards the centre of the Earth.
Yeah, but I mean that's going to
And-
confuse. If you say centre of the Earth to SC Montreal, that's going to confuse him. So
And then he asked, but what about after that?
Yeah.
what?
Exactly. What do you mean after that?
Yeah.
Well,
what do
if you
you
make
mean?
a hole all the way through and throw yourself in, what happens when you get halfway down? What
Oh, that
direction
one.
you going in?
His argument is what happens once you get to the centre of the Earth.
Yeah.
If you carry on moving, and then of course MC Toon said, well, obviously you're not going down anymore because
Yeah,
you're
there's
now
no
going
down
the other
from
way. You know, you're now basically going up. And
He was
and
just
that,
trying to get.
that just fried his brain.
He was just trying to get a soundbite that said, "Oh, Toon says up is down." That's
know.
all he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Toon knew that.
It's like somebody came out with the analogy: you're standing on the ground, the branches of the tree are above you. You
Yeah.
now go up in the air, the branches of the tree are now below you.
You know, even if SC Montreal was at the centre of the Earth, he'd still be able to dig down in terms of intellectual ability.
Yeah, true. I like that.
Very true.
So I take
Yes,
it there's no
Ju-
Lindsay then. No new Lindsay.
Oh, okay. I'll have a quick look then. Have a quick look.
I don't know what he's been.
You had to ask, didn't you?
And yes,
Well-
yes, Judy, you're right. That first main sort of question for MC Toon, I mean, he had to be half cut. He'd had several drinks. He must have done.
Uh, 12 days ago. By the look of it.
Really?
Going by this.
What? And the rest are all just his other
Yeah.
weird nonsense.
He's sitting in front of the whiteboard, sort of. Oh no, that's his whiteboard in front of the window. Yeah. No, he's got nothing. No, that's in front of the window. Okay. He's let us down.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is
Get rid of that. So I fast forward it for the hour. Right, so we transition. That works.
I'd like to listen to the drunken idiots. That's always quite funny.
No, it wasn't really.
no,
Is it not?
wasn't.
No, it wasn't funny.
I listened to it live. It was.
So that's the
It
first.
sent me to sleep.
Well, that's the first hour. So we'll just have a quick listen to see if he's here.
No, that's only because of that silly diagram where they were looking towards the center. They should be looking out, right? But
Right, because
the
you can't make a map.
Do you guys
And
that's
have
the
a
best that we
model
have.
or any kind
The
of map of
kicker-
what the world really looks
No.
like?
Yeah,
because you got everyone in the south
yeah, let's-
on the
in the
AE
green
map,
spot on their own horizon.
on the AE map, they look out. They look opposite each other, right?
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
that was the point. Yeah, their backs are faced towards each other. So
Yet they see the same thing.
right, and that's the exact point. They might both be facing south on a flat Earth, but their backs are towards each other, looking opposite of each other, yet seeing the exact same thing. That's the point.
All right. Well,
And none of the flat earthers, none of you guys can visualize how this would work on a globe.
No, it works perfectly on a globe, right? Well, to my mind, right? You
It
have one
does.
rotating celestial sphere outside you, and then you look
Yeah.
upward, it's rotating counterclockwise. You go to the bottom of the ball, look down, it's clockwise. It's the opposite. It makes
And you know
total
what,
sense.
Shane? And you know what, Shane? That's why I like you, because you're honest about that. I like that. At least you acknowledge that actually does work on a globe.
A lot of people on Flat Earth, because we have this list, right? Things that work perfect on both models if you know enough, and things that only work on one and one on the other. And I had to put Star Trails in both, but a lot of people fought me on that and go, no, it's impossible on a globe. And I was like, okay, how?
Which direction is down?
Oh,
Oh, here we
To the
Well,
ball.
there we go.
SC Montreal wants to change the subject.
I'm down with that. Go for it, man. Get him.
Toward the center of the globe.
Toward the center of the globe. That's
down the rabbit hole.
Yes, towards
No,
the
and
center.
if you
of
want
the
an answer, hold on. If you want an answer that works for both models at the same time, the answer is toward the surface of the Earth. Let's go with that one.
No, let's
Wow.
go with what Toon said. The center of the Earth, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's give Tune and SC Montreal the floor, please.
Yeah, let's.
I don't want the floor. I just want to ask a question. I mean,
All right.
Go
Well,
for
good. You got an answer.
okay, Toon. So direction is down, right? You have a downward vector.
Yeah.
So you continue going down. How far is down?
How far?
How
Well,
far
till you
is
get to
down?
the center.
What a
Send us towards
stupid
the center.
question. What?
Once you
Yeah.
get to the center, then
Down isn't a measurable
Then you're
distance.
down.
you
What
know.
happens then?
Yeah, but
What
this
do you
is SE.
Mm.
Well, if you continue in the same vector.
oh,
what
now we're
happens?
moving. We're moving. Okay, so yeah, if you're
Well, we were
if
always
you-
moving. We started from the
no,
top.
you
and we
started
went to
with
the
what
center.
direction is down. You didn't say that we were moving that way. Okay, so you want to
Okay,
dig
fair
a
enough,
dig a
fair
hole
enough.
straight through the center of the Earth
Yeah.
and move. Yeah, okay. So you move once you get towards the center, and you go past the center, then down is the other direction. Yep.
So down becomes up.
No, it's still down, but relative to the other position, it's not the same.
How
Good
does that
answer.
work? It's still down.
I
But
if you don't, and this isn't that complicated. I mean, that it's
Yeah, it
really
is.
not that complicated. So I don't know if you're pretending to not
But
understand it, or if
Yeah,
you
it
really
is.
don't understand it.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
is.
not that hard. I don't know why it's a challenge for you.
It's not a
Because he's
challenge.
SE,
It
that's
just sounds
why.
weird. You're saying that down continues in the same vector, but it doesn't become up. It
Here's
continues
a
down.
perfect analogy. There's tree branches that are above you. Then you're moving up. Now you're above the tree branches. Which direction are they now?
Is that the same analogy?
Yes, you have a point of reference. The branches. They were up. Now you're moving. You moved up so far that now you're above them. Now, what direction would you call the branches to you?
Ooh,
That's a good analogy, actually.
According to McToon, you're still calling it above
It's
you.
still up. Yeah, exactly. It's still up.
No,
no.
no.
Yeah,
Why
according
straw
to
man?
McToon,
That's
it's
not
still
what he
up.
said.
Why do you have to strawman me? Why would you do that?
This is perfect.
Do you have to be
perfectly
dishonest?
opposite to me.
Is it built
That's
into
what
your
Toon-
psyche to be dishonest? Is that it?
It-
Do you think that
Isn't that what
do you think
said,
that you
Toon?
wish the Earth into being flat by being dishonest? Why don't you
I
just be
never
honest
mentioned
instead?
the word.
You
Do
can't
you
do
think
what
that by
triggered?
voicing
Why are you
well,
triggered,
McToon, that you
You
make
gotta
it
come
a
from
club?
You got to come from a stance of superiority, McToon. Don't get flustered now. We can see those feathers. Calm
Yeah.
down. Ready?
What was that, Hammer?
You're not being fair to McToon here. Now, obviously, on a globe, it's not a vector. Down is not a vector. Down is a specific point, a specific location. Only on a flat Earth would down be an infinite vector downward from the surface. Like, come on, be
Infinite
fair,
vector?
but simply be honest.
I mean,
So
right
down
on-
is everywhere
What the
then.
hell is an
Down is
infinite
everywhere in your
No.
model.
No,
No,
it's
here-
a vector.
Here's
It's
all right. It's
Ridiculous.
between
Oh,
hey, shh,
God.
it's between myself and Essie here for a minute. Essie, on so a similar question on the flat Earth map, the AE map. I don't know which one you prefer, but I suspect if you had a Gleason map pillow, you'd hug it every night. But anyway, if you went due north from your location and you continued past the North Pole on flat Earth, and then you're on the other side of the North Pole and you kept going the same direction, would you still be going north?
I don't claim a shape of Earth.
I'm just asking on the AE map. On the AE map,
I can't answer that
can you not? You can't even put your hat and your thinking cap on and think, well, okay, if we go north on the AE map, cross the North Pole, and continue in the same direction, are we still going north?
How about you stop strawmanning everybody with a map?
I never claimed that. Why are you strawmanning?
I didn't put that on you. I said let's just use the AE map for an example. How about that?
No, we're not going to
so take the AE map.
You're scared of the down question, right?
No, I'm giving you an analogy here. I'm giving you an analogy here. Okay, so take the AE map, go straight north, past the North Pole, keep going the same direction. Are you still going north?
Why are you strawmanning? I never claimed the map.
I didn't claim the map.
Why are you asking me?
Let me reiterate. Let me reiterate my position. Hold on. Let me reiterate my position again. Let's take the AE map. I don't know or care if it's your particular preference, but let's just take it for a second and put our thinking caps on and think about that particular claim that many flat earthers still do claim. Go due north. Cross the North Pole. Continue in the same direction.
The question. You want to skirt the question?
I'm giving you an analogy so that you can think about this, okay? So go past the North Pole, keep going in the same direction. Are you still going north?
As an outside observer, SC, I'd say yes. It's fair to say he wants to skirt the question.
Yeah, of course he wants to skirt the question.
Notice how when you start talking about flat Earth, all of a sudden it comes.
Yeah, they never want to talk about flat Earth. The last thing they want to talk about is flat Earth. I get it. Every single time flat Earth is tested, it fails. That's why they never want to touch it.
Hey,
can you ask me the question?
I'll ask Can you ask me the question? BioDual. If you took the AE map, I know that's not maybe your map, but let's imagine for a second that you put yourself on the AE map. Go due north, cross the North Pole, keep going in the same direction. Are you still going north?
No, we flipped around and I've continued, and now I'm going south.
Thank you.
There you go.
On that map.
Thanks, buddy.
That's just geometry. It's not hard. Good job.
Nice skirting of the question. So you're going down now. You're going in the vector down in your mythical ball.
Yes.
You reach the center, right, Toon?
Yeah, you keep going. Yep.
Keep going.
Yep.
And then what happens?
And then the direction of down is now the opposite of what it used to be, just like on the example I gave with BioDual that he understood immediately.
So down became up. Right?
So north became south. Yeah, that's because you still go in the same direction. That's just geometry.
Say it, huh?
Is this geometry?
Right?
Is this geometry beyond you, SC Montreal? Are you really that difficult? Is it hard for you to understand? This is seriously middle school geometry, and you seem confused by it. No wonder.
I know it's ridiculous. That's why you
don't want to say down is ridiculous that you don't understand it. No, down is still down, but because you're on the other side of the center of gravity. Now down is the other direction. This is not difficult.
Which is what?
Essie, this is not a challenging thought experiment. But for some reason, you really struggle with it. Why do you struggle with it so much,
Why can't you say it, bro? Why can't you say it?
I just said it. Why is it so hard for you? We're on to the next thing here. I'm asking, why do you struggle with this simple topic so much?
I'm not struggling at all.
It's not that hard.
Down is up.
It's not actually that hard.
But you haven't said it yet. You didn't say that down becomes up in your model.
No, it doesn't. No, on the other side of the center of gravity, down is a different vector.
You can't say it.
Why would I say it? It's not right.
Would you, with McToon?
You can't say
it. Go ahead, Smurf. After you're done, though, I've got a globe on globe question for McToon.
All right.
Yeah, Timbo's right.
I need more Toon shine here.
Well, what'd Timbo say?
Well, Timbo, he's trying to get him to say down is up. Is what he's trying to get him to say down is up, and he wants the sound bite. And so Timbo was absolutely right what he said earlier on, that he's just trying to get that sound bite to get him to say it.
But that's not correct. That's not correct, though. So he can't say something that's not correct.
No, exactly. He's not going to say it because it's wrong. But that's what he wants him to say.
Smurf, I think it was Smurf, right? Somebody said Smurf was going to say something.
Oh, I was just joking that you're saying you can't say it.
No, I wouldn't say something that I disagree with.
You said you won't say that down is up.
Yeah, down is not up. Down is always down.
Down is always down. Except until it's up.
Well, when you're on the other side of the center of gravity, it's a different direction.
Well, I don't feel like the down thing with the globe model. I don't feel like the down question is really that straightforward, because on the globe, the down direction is generated by the mass of the Earth, but the Earth is huge. And as you move toward the center of the Earth, you're not moving toward like a finite point that says, here's where the force of gravity comes from. It's the whole mass of the Earth. So as you get closer to the center, I feel like things would start to get really weird, because now you've got all the mass on your sides and even behind you at this point. You start to go deep enough. Like if you were to get to the center point of the Earth, I feel like you'd.
Has he got a small enough bottle?
What would happen to you? Would you get ripped apart in all directions from getting?
So, I don't know. Make something up and people will believe it. Listen, hey. So with a circumference of 25,000 miles,
just hand wave that away. You didn't want to talk about that. I mean, he spent all that time developing the question, and you just jump in.
I can definitely answer that question.
Oh, good. Let's hear it.
All right. If you were at the center of the Earth in a capsule, in other words, a sealed capsule, inside that capsule, you would bounce around inside that capsule in all directions.
No, you wouldn't.
Until you hit a point where you were equally pulled on all directions, and that's when you would stop moving. But the minute you were released inside that capsule, you'd start bouncing around until you hit that equilibrium where all gravitational forces are equal on all sides, pulling at all parts of your body at the same time.
Oh my God!
In theory, it's probably
right. You're so big and you are so small. I feel like there would be such a huge.
You'd be almost weightless, wouldn't you?
Like a gray area. Like for all intents and purposes, there's the same amount of mass in all directions. You know what I mean?
Like I have a question about the Earth being
for you to move around in. I mean,
I have a question about the Earth being big.
Container.
Big Earth question. Ready? Okay. So 25,000 mile circumference, right? At what height, when we keep going up towards quote unquote space, should we start to see curvature?
It depends on the percentage of your equipment.
What height? Just what height? Yes, it's almost like a yes or no question. Just give me a number or don't talk.
We're trying to have an intellectual conversation.
250 miles.
He doesn't want the intellectual conversation.
I'm trying to have a 250 miles.
Answer.
To see real curvature,
stays on
top.
When do I see it?
Define it. You start seeing it around 100 miles, and you'll see it at 250 miles completely. And then when you get up to about 400 miles, you'll see the actual curvature. There's pictures from Gemini where they went up to 700 miles.
No, you were on Gemini. Go ahead and show us when you got those numbers. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. I asked for evidence. He's like,
I got the numbers from
you got to remember, he only allows things that you personally did yourself unless he has evidence. Then he can definitely cite things that he didn't do himself. That's the double standard of evidence. Standard flirt.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. So, do you know at what height you'll see the curvature? You don't have. You can't distract me. Audience doesn't buy this anymore.
Can't distract you, huh? Okay. Do you mean left to right curvature?
Any curvature at all? Yes, left to right, front to back, whatever you got.
Yeah. Well, you can see front to back at the surface.
No, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking since we can't see front to back.
You can. You can see front to back.
You can't.
At the surface.
I think you think we can. Yes. I think that you're paid to say that we can, but no one can find it, bruh.
It's not hard. Bottom up obstruction. Yeah, bottom up obstruction. It's easy to see. So that's the front to back. That's the front to back effective curve. Yeah.
I wasn't talking about obstruction. I'm talking about how high do I have to be before I start seeing your globe?
Yeah. So then I'm clarifying. Do you mean left to right? And then you said lots of this.
Sure. Left to right. Where's the left to right?
Just left to right. Okay. At 40,000, 50,000, you could see it with your eyes.
Really? Because I was up to 60,000 at 19 years old in the Concorde. I didn't see it, and that was twice. Try again.
Wait, did you look out one of those windows in the Concorde? You looked out one of those small windows in the Concorde, and you couldn't see any curvature?
No, I could barely see anything. But yeah, no curvature.
Yeah, I've been on the Concorde.
Listen. I don't care about airplane windows. Listen, you can't go up in airplanes. I want to know how high your eyes were.
You specifically mentioned Concorde through a window, and then you said you don't care about Concorde windows. Could you make up your mind?
I want to know when, with your eyeballs, not through a window, you saw the curvature of the Earth. That's what I want.
Here's the problem. You have dual standard of evidence here. You said that you went in the Concorde, and then when somebody else said that they went in the Concorde, theirs doesn't matter.
One way or the other.
So then why did you bring up Concorde?
Because I was going against what you said about 40-50. I said, no, I've been up to 60. Try again.
Okay, but you said through a window doesn't matter. So your observations through a window don't matter, right? Your
window observations matter. So
your standard of evidence. So why did you bring up Concorde?
I'm asking where you saw the curvature. You can't distract like this, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay,
so sorry. I went up 45,000 feet. I saw curvature in a private jet.
Then that's your opinion, and there you go.
I saw curvature staying on the beach.
Wow.
You wanted our own personal experience, and you wanted to make sure it was us. So
I mean, and that's if you're being honest, God bless you. But it's not reality. But if you're being honest, that's fine.
Would you like a picture?
He won't take pictures. He will reject all pictures. He rejects all pictures that contradict his pre-selected conclusion.
Pictures I took myself.
Standard flurf.
You do the same thing.
See the picture. Go ahead.
If it goes against the globe narrative, you do the same thing, brother. Sorry.
No, sorry.
No. Yes.
Here. I'll put a picture of curvature
and an arc.
There you go.
Up over.
Go ahead. Deny.
Well,
there you go.
The pictures.
Time to
here
deny.
Come the pictures that nobody asked for. You
there
fucking idiot.
Time to deny. Go ahead. Deny it.
Deny what? It's just a picture.
There it is. Oh, there it is. Yep. It's just a picture. It doesn't count. Yep.
Well, does it?
Looks pretty flat.
Apparently, to you, it doesn't.
Yeah,
and that's got curve in it there. Here's another one. Speaking of the Concorde, there you go. From the Concorde.
Supposedly, you bet.
Wait, is that in the Concorde or from the Concorde? Is there another Concorde flying next to it? What took the picture?
That one was taken from a jet near the Concorde.
Wait a second. I thought that was taken from the Concorde. Are you okay?
He thinks there was only
one
Concorde.
Of the Concorde was taken from a plane next to
Are you bullshit?
There was more than one.
That was taken from a tornado.
I don't know why that's hard for you to get.
An RAF tornado. And the Concorde had to slow down for the tornado.
There you go.
The problem was that the tornado could match the Concorde speed, but it would blitz through its fuel supply in a matter of minutes. It couldn't. Yeah. It couldn't. Fighter planes can now do what they call super cruise. Back then they couldn't. So yes, the tornado could catch up with and keep up with Concorde, but his fuel would have lasted all of 10 minutes. So they decided, let's slow the Concorde down a bit to give matey boys in the tornado time to come up alongside, take the photos and go, thank you very much. And then Concorde went back up to its usual cruising speed, which was faster than what the tornado's usual cruising speed was. That's a very famous photo, that one. And that does quite clearly show Earth curve because they were quite a height.
It's this guy that's claiming that he's been on Concorde. If you go on Facebook for long enough with the Flat Earth channels, you will hear that claim quite a lot.
Yes.
A lot of them will actually say, oh, I've been on Concorde. I've been on Concorde. So apparently most of them being on Concorde. I'm not. He could be telling the truth, but
he just admitted he couldn't see hardly anything out of the window. And it's sort of like,
I've been on Concorde multiple times, but all I can see is the hangar wall. Because it's the one at Duxford. Well, I actually been on it when it used to sit outside, but you can't really see much of Earth curve from there either.
What year was it the Concorde last flew?
Oh
that
God,
long ago.
2000 and
been a while.
It was in the
something. I don't know.
Somewhere 2000, somewhere around about 2005, give or take a couple of 3 years.
I'll look for it.
I'll just have a little quick look.
So they'd have to have been at least in their 20s to have any cognitive memory.
Well, no, I mean they could have been kids. They could have been teenagers.
2003.
2003. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere around about the early 2000s.
So 19 years ago, at least. Then
because it crashed in 2000. I was trying to work out how long after that it lasted.
Well, they grounded. Didn't they ground them after that?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
I mean,
they flew and then stopped.
They were getting to the point where they're going to stop flying anyway because it just wasn't economic. It
never was.
No, it never was. And I think they were getting to the point it's like, this is just getting too expensive. And then that god awful accident happened, and I think that was all the impetus they needed. We'll ground everything and then just let's not bother anymore, because it was too expensive in the first place.
What, too expensive to fly them, or too expensive to go?
No, too expensive too expensive to fly them as a commercial concern.
Because it didn't hold a lot of people.
No, if you've ever been on one, I mean the one at Duxford is one of the prototypes. I think it's 002, and originally it didn't have any seats in it, but they took all the test gear out and fitted the seats in. And I'm 5'10", and I sort of have to stoop a little bit. It's cramped. There's not a lot of room in there at all. The diameter of the fuselage really isn't that much. So yeah, you've got two seats either side of the aisle. Unless you walk down the aisle, at 5'10", I'm sort of having to duck my head a little bit. But then again, I suppose, if you're crossing the Atlantic, something like the Atlantic that quickly, how much room do you need for a flight of 2 or 3 hours or whatever it was?
But it only held 100 passengers. So
yeah, that's it. And it was bloody expensive to run. You had to maintain the aircraft and the fuel and everything else. It was pretty much, what do they call it, a loss leader from the start.
Well, it was close to going under way back early in its career, because they were trying to be economically competitive with regular airline tickets.
Yeah.
And finally they sat down and said, geez, why are people flying on this thing? And after doing a bunch of market research, they said, you know what we really ought to do is just double the price of the tickets and see what happens. And holy shit, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
You fly because you can say you've been on a Concorde.
Yeah. I got to fly on it once.
Nice.
Never flew over here.
Strictly by accident, just because of some business commitments that we had no choice about. But yeah, I got a flight out of Paris back to JFK.
To put it in commercial terms, I was just checking it out. So the old 747 could hold up to 524 passengers. So every flight of the you need 4 flights of the Concorde to equal 1 flight of the 747. So.
Yeah, it economically it just wasn't viable.
Internationally, 747s weren't carrying that many people.
Like went full, but yeah.
No.
I'm saying it's
the seating was totally different for that 524. That 524 passenger version of it was the one like they would fly in Japan, strictly inside Japan.
So 416 for the 3-class option layout, according to this.
Yeah.
So Concorde didn't fly over here. Didn't come to Australia.
No.
I think didn't Concorde go to Australia once?
It may have gone there once.
Yeah, I think.
But
that
wasn't
it wasn't a regular
route for
route.
it. It could barely make it from. It barely made it from Paris to New York. It was range limited, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently 1972 it flew here. Or they got here somehow.
Yeah, with refueling stops they could have.
1985.
So twice.
1985 it went to Sydney, February the 15th.
That was trying to break a record. It flew to Sydney for something or other. What was it for? To be the fastest to fly from London to Sydney. That's what they flew that one.
17 hours, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So yeah, it did go to Australia, but
so a couple of times.
No, there was no scheduled route though to Australia.
No. Oh no.
No, it's just to win records. Publicity, really.
Yeah, it was specifically designed across the North Atlantic. That was it.
Yep.
In one go. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yep. And it did that just fine. It was fun. I'll always remember that. But wasn't worth the money, honestly. That ticket was expensive.
The Earth, and those are additional mediums to the background medium as well, that is immaterial. All these translate the motion, and it moves seemingly in the form of a toroid, right, or a torus, and that is detected on the Earth. So that's what's and that is, of course, interconnected with the motion observed of sidereal rotation.
Okay, you still didn't tell us what that mechanism is that causes the transfer of motion.
So you're asking me to answer a question that all of quantum field theory and quantum mechanics still can't answer. And this is what I wanted to show
Austin, this is your
this is what
claim,
I wanted
not
to
my
show
claim.
to the audience, dude. You pretend that I'm just so stupid.
It's not my claim, it's your claim.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. All the evidence shows what I'm saying is true, and we've yet to,
What evidence?
even within
You haven't
your
cited
paradigm,
one piece of evidence yet.
even within your paradigm, we've yet to fully understand it.
Yeah, you
now,
didn't
you're
cite
basically
any
saying
evidence.
if I'm not like Nikola Tesla times 1,000,000, and I can't rewrite all of physics by myself on Discord right now and give you math from the quantum to the cosmological scale to explain all things, even though your entire paradigm still can't do it, then the Earth spins.
Okay,
Think about
so
how
it
dishonest
sounds like you have a position, but you have exactly zero evidence to support your position.
No, it's not zero evidence. I just don't have to quantify
then
with specific
send
claims.
the evidence,
All the evidence is in my favor because any
of course you
attempt
have to quantify any of your claims. You have the burden of evidence if you make the claim. You're making the claim, therefore you have the burden of evidence. This is from you. You've made a claim of specificity, Austin. You have the burden of evidence to support that claim of specificity. That's your word.
Right. So we have the same evidence, which is that we detect sidereal rotation.
No, that's not. It's the mechanism. I'm asking for the mechanism that causes the transfer of motion from the stars to objects that are not the stars and can't even see the stars.
Now, here's where we both have to guess our answer effectively. You say that it's the Earth spinning. I'm saying that it's actually the stuff in the sky moving.
Yeah, and
there's a medium, there's a background medium that connects all of it.
But Austin, it makes perfect sense that something moving can register something moving when you create a device to measure movement. You have not yet established anything that a device designed to measure movement somehow measures, the sky moving when it's not actually moving.
Yeah, so it's why we go all the way back to where I explained that there's something called the Machian principle, which is the translation of motion to the interior of a system.
Austin,
and Einstein explains that this would drag a pendulum around.
Yeah, so that doesn't. Frame dragging doesn't help you. It's way too small. So
that's where you revert back to your script, but the whole audience has heard I've already destroyed the way too small part. But you can't actually debate me, right? That's why you need to stick to your straw man Austin for 2 hours on live streams.
Pat yourself in the back. I'm still waiting for the mechanism because frame dragging isn't the mechanism that answers your question. What's the mechanism that causes it? Well, if it is frame dragging, then go ahead and show the application. You don't agree with relativity, so I don't know why you bring up relativity to support your position.
Because I know that you're so dishonest, you wouldn't concede the Machian principle unless I forced you to. So I used a hostile way.
Just show your evidence.
So much. Why do Glovers do that?
Just show your evidence, Austin.
Why do anti-fighters have to
just claims? Go ahead. Show your evidence.
You have impulse control issues. So watch. I'll ask again and watch. You won't answer again. Do you concede and agree with Einstein that the Machian principle is valid? Yes or no?
I'm not. No, I don't know. Austin, I'm just keep going.
Dude.
What's the mechanism? What's the mechanism, Austin? You have this blind faith in that mechanism that you can't even explain what it is. You have nothing to support it. This is the same as 2 years ago when we first talked. You said instead of gravity, you wanted to use what Tesla wrote about in the paragraph or the sidebar of a book that you had no idea what he wrote about, but that was the one that you chose. You definitely wanted to go with the one that had no mechanism explained and nobody knew anything about. That was your choice over the well-confirmed, empirically verified mass attracting mass.
Okay, See, mass attracting mass is actually long outdated, of course, and Gravity is no longer considered an intrinsic property of matter, and where mass attracting mass came from
Austin,
was
my
Newton.
Point. My point was that you chose
Newton, who said that it was God that did it. So I don't know why you bring that up.
Austin,
that's so funny. But
2 years ago, you chose Tesla's writing, just saying, I have some other idea. That's the one that you said you chose to go with.
I said I currently think it would be more of an electromagnetic phenomena. Yeah, but this is let me point this out. I'm going to set you up again.
Same deal. You go with the thing that has no evidence over the thing that has evidence.
Everyone pay attention that he invoked mass attracting mass. And
yes, mass attracting is confirmed. Absolutely empirically confirmed.
You have to interrupt.
Yes.
You're nervous. So
no, I'm excited. This is fun.
You're getting destroyed, though.
You don't sound like it.
Everyone's hearing it. So Newton said mass attracting mass was an act of God. Now you said that Tesla didn't. You said Tesla didn't propose a mechanism, but he did. You're just going to dismiss it as woo-woo. But he said that there was an luminiferous ether, and that there was a life-giving force he referred to as the prana within that. And when this ether was thrown into infinitesimal prodigious worlds of velocity, it manifested as matter. And that this motion within the ether acted as basically an all-encompassing medium that presses down on existence. So he did offer a mechanism. You will just hand-wave dismiss it, but you will then invoke the mass-attracting mass act of God, though.
Yeah. It is definitely woo, but I don't, Newton's particular explanation for how it happened doesn't really matter because you can empirically verify that mass attracts mass. It's easy to do. It's not that hard. And then you can purchase your own if you don't want to build your own. I
can't believe you can get through that without coughing or something, dude. You don't actually believe that, do you?
No, he does.
That mass attracts mass?
I've decided he does believe
100% mass attracts mass has been confirmed, empirically confirmed. And Austin, your video by Good Times for All actually supports it.
Wow.
I love that. And you didn't kind of like that one.
What are you talking about? That you're just going to name a YouTube channel like
the Good Times for All video.
Incoherent magnetism?
Yes, incoherent magnetism.
Yeah.
If only there was an experiment we could do that could show mass attracting mass.
Yeah.
Anyone got any ideas or maybe a theory about that?
I got some thoughts. I'll get right on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think there was a guy called Blue or something. Big Blue, I don't know. I can't remember his name. Experiment or something or other, or built something or other. I don't know what that was. No clue.
Wasn't he playing with some balls?
I think he was playing with some balls.
No, you think it's something else.
Oh.
No? Oh, okay.
In the end, I loved it. I loved
you're
it so
laughing
much
because you're nervous because you're walking into me knowing something way more than you again.
Because Austin, incoherent magnetism says that all matter attracts all matter. Guess what, Austin? That's still the same as mass attracting.
Yeah, but here's what you don't get. Not. Here's what you don't get. So that's actually intrinsically electrostatic, and just because there's an attractive force, right? It's inversely proportionate to mass. Now you claim that it's proportionate to mass, so they're directly opposite of one another.
But what we verify empirically in by putting something on a spring scale is that it's directly proportional to mass.
No, you don't.
Oh no, it's not. So mass and force are not directly related? How's that?
Well, it's not that they're not related. Right?
Oh, they are.
But it's that your claim of an attractive force is not proportionate to mass. And of course,
what's it proportionate to?
This is why I decided not to debate you anymore, because
why does the force go up when the mass goes up, Austin, if it's not directly proportional?
Because you impulsively interrupt, and then when I ask you like 5 questions, you refuse to answer them. But then you expect me to answer whatever question you can come up with off the top of your head to divert to, because you're just dishonest. You're not a good debater.
Austin, you just said clearly, you made this claim that it's inversely proportional to mass, but yet it's really not that difficult for anybody to see that force goes up when mass goes up. And so I'm just waiting for you to support your claim there. That's
right. So now we need to get into what is weight. And before we get into what is weight, this is why you're doing this, because you're drowning out the other parts, which is You claim that detection of sidereal rotation is exclusive to axial rotation, but it is not. Even Einstein himself says via relativistic application, you would have to concede if the Earth is stationary, you'd have a translation of motion that would drag the pendulum around. So then you would just concede the principle and we move on, but you're afraid to. I asked you, you're changing all the way back to gravity now, right? Because I asked you, how do you prove that the Earth, can you agree that relativity says you can't actually detect the Earth moving around the sun from the Earth? And then I gave you the quote of what he said, and that he said that before relativity was put forth, it was difficult to become reconciled with this result. I asked you, how did relativity reconcile the results? You said you didn't know. You said that matter didn't physically contract, and then you got corrected on that and skated past that. And now you've pointed to scattergun random diversions over here to gravity.
I specifically said for contraction that within our reference frame it doesn't, and that was always my position.
Does it physically contract overall?
Within our reference frame, I will say that it does not.
But in reality, it does. It's just our whole reference frame also contracts, right? See, you don't understand it.
Oh, I certainly do.
Huh. No, you don't. You literally don't.
All right, come on.
Okay, let me explain it to you. So relativity says that the whole reference frame contracts, and that's why you can't detect it. So it's not that it doesn't contract in your reference frame as much as it doesn't contract relative to your reference frame. It doesn't contract relative to your reference frame because the whole reference frame contracts. You understand that, right?
Wait, the entire reference frame contracts?
No.
Yeah, all of space.
From an external reference frame, the entire reference frame contracts.
All of space, all observers, all measuring devices contract.
Or is it directly proportional to the part that's near mass?
This is so
the
funny.
Part
you
that's
just don't
moving at high velocity.
Yeah. So like whenever you're in the reference frame that is being affected by Lorentz contraction, then all the space in that reference frame contracts as well. Like you could think of you being on a train and it moving, and then you have a ruler. Relativity says that ruler is contracting. If you held it up to the window to measure the window, as the ruler contracts, the window also contracts.
Just from
as does
somebody
all
outside
the space in the train, so it would look like nothing contracted in your reference frame. Do you understand?
Yeah, just outside the reference frame, though, as I said before.
If you were outside of it, then you would be able to measure the contraction.
Yeah, just outside the reference frame is where it contracts.
So where do we have to get to be outside the reference frame as it pertains to Earth?
Well, on the to go to the train model, the person standing on the platform.
No.
Yeah.
No. See.
No.
Outside. Yeah. See. So yeah, it would look like it's changing from outside the train, but in reality, if you tried to measure it, then it wouldn't show contraction. And this is it seems like it's convoluted, somewhat convoluted, because that's your model's, religion, but it is simple, and it is that you can't detect or measure the Earth's motion around the Earth, the Earth around the sun, from the Earth because of time dilation and length contraction. So you'll get there, though. And then when it comes to the mass attracting mass thing, you're invoking weight when you bring up the spring scale, so we have to define weights.
Yeah, mass times acceleration.
Okay, so acceleration is obviously not exclusive to what you think it is, right? It's just the effect. The question is, what's the cause?
When you're looking at a physical law, the cause is not part of it.
Right, but if you're invoking it as if to support your other claims in your model, then cause becomes a part of it.
No, it absolutely, when you're looking at a physical law, the cause is not important. For example, Snell's law. Do you need to know the cause of the refraction in order to use Snell's law? No. In order to confirm that Snell's law is in fact empirically valid, you just need to measure the refraction. You don't need to know why. So just like
Snell's law actually does have some discrepancies. I'm sure you don't know that. And it's arguably the best of all the options, sure. Okay, but this is the point. Weight is actually relative to many variables. And your paradigm claims that these are just additional variables to a force that's presupposed. And that's why it does come into claiming the cause, right? Because weight is actually relative to medium, to magnitude, to vector, to coherency, to location.
Hold on, let's get this clear. What? Medium, yes, because buoyancy is a thing. So you're on your free body diagram, you have your weight due to gravity down, and you have your buoyancy up. So what else?
Okay, then what's buoyancy? Now we got to figure that out.
Yeah, we go over that in physics class.
Okay, and so what is it?
It's the displacement of the medium, right? So you take the volume displaced, take the mass of the volume displaced is important then. So
what causes the displacement?
That there's something in there, right?
Yeah,
so when you put your object on the scale and it displaces the air that used to be there, the thing being in the way is the cause.
And the displacement is relative to density, right?
The density of the displaced material, yes.
Relative to the density of the medium. So then now we need to figure out what density is.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You see how your script is very disingenuous.
This infinite recursion. You can do it all the way to first principles. We can do all those things, right? We don't need to, because we can work at a higher level than that, because all these things are not actually questioned. But if you want to question them all, you go right ahead. You just go right ahead.
That's why I said we were going to get into all the weeds, right? Because I saw that's where it's coming. You can seem that you can pretend it's me being pedantic or something.
It's not me being pedantic. You are being pedantic, certainly.
No, I know that it comes off like I'm being pedantic, but it's important
distinguishment. Absolutely comes off being pedantic, but fine.
I know, yeah.
Question
and you
all
can't
physics down to first
me
principles. Go ahead.
Are you starting to notice that you can't debate me about it? But I would like to say though, McTim, can you please do me a favor? Because just to continue in good faith, I would really prefer if you would just be honest and you would concede the first part, which is that you concede the validity in the Machian principle and that you must according to. Can you just concede that part?
I'm sorry, no.
So you disagree with Einstein?
I don't know. Whatever. Don't care.
Oh my God.
Nice. That's fair. I'll take I don't know whatever.
So what can you do?
Completely dishonest attack.
Okay, now I'm asked the other question that you skipped past again. Einstein said that all terrestrial experiments attempting to detect the motion of the Earth have resulted in a negative result, and prior to relativity being put forward, it was difficult to become reconciled to this result. So what did relativity do to reconcile those negative results?
I don't know, don't care. Austin, we can measure all these things externally. So like I said, the best you do is you take one thing away of the measurement of the rotation of the Earth and the orbit of the Earth around the sun. There's other ways to do these things, and you don't move your position forward at all. You don't provide supporting evidence for your position, Austin.
Well,
why don't you actually try to go for evidence supporting your... Oh, I know why.
Well, this is the thing, right? So you're kind of being disingenuous because the whole position that you hold is that the evidence does support a stationary Earth.
No, it doesn't.
But literally your position is that the evidence supports that the sun moves around the Earth, that the Earth is stationary, but that since relativity is true.
No, that's not my position.
No, this is objective.
This is objectively you strawmanning me. That's not my position.
No. Relativity says that although the result and the evidence appears to show us that the Earth is stationary, it's actually just an illusion.
Whatever.
No.
It doesn't help you. It
doesn't
move you forward.
So you agree with that though, right?
No, it does not appear to be stationary. It is a negative result at best. It is we don't have a result. It is nothing useful. That's what that means, Austin. It doesn't mean that it is stationary. It doesn't mean that it's evidence for stationary. It is evidence for nothingness at best.
That is so disingenuous. If the Earth was stationary, would we get a negative result? Yes or no?
If the Earth was stationary or rotating, we would get a negative result.
Now you're just begging the question of the ad hoc explanation that tried to explain why the results were negative.
Neither. It's nothing at best.
In public, he has to fake his belief in public, and that's why he talks like this. He may not be being disingenuous. He wants people to believe he actually believes this shit. So
do you see like what he's doing, right? He set up this narrative where even though all the evidence shows that the Earth is stationary, he's claiming it doesn't.
It doesn't
he's claiming that we can't use that evidence.
It definitely doesn't show that.
It literally does. Like that's what
it literally does. It literally is a negative result, as Einstein said. A negative result
because he
for Michelson
attempted to detect the motion, but got a negative result, which is what you would get if the Earth wasn't in motion.
Why do you pick this specific like part of what Einstein said.
Because I found that you guys are so dishonest, you can't even talk about this.
He's with Robertson Gents, is what he is.
No, now he can just straw man me, right? But the reason platypus is because
he's constantly bringing up geocentricism. That's his thing.
But I
love it.
I wouldn't even want McToon to be over here with us trying to figure out the true nature of the Earth, right? I don't do this to wake up anti-flat Earthers that have impulse control issues and constantly interrupt me like he's doing right now. I do this for people that are new to the subject, and I get many emails that say, "Wow, like it wasn't really you; it was how dishonest they were being that made me decide to look into it." And that's why I talk about this, because I found that unfortunately no baller can even admit this stuff.
Pat yourself on the back.
Well, it's kind of like an intellectual honesty litmus test, right? At the beginning, that's what it's kind of building up to, I think.
Yeah, and it should be like a 5-second thing, and then we get into the nitty gritty of the conversation. But I found out that it actually turns into 2 hour, 3 hour long debates.
Okay. Any evidence supporting your claim? No. Got it.
The only reason it turns into an hour too long debate because Whitsitt won't shut up.
No, and his projection is off the charts. You know, he's straw man. He interrupts. Yeah. Oh yeah, because Whitsitt never interrupts anybody ever. He always patiently waits his turn. Oh no, hang on a minute. I'm thinking somebody else. Blimey. I just don't know why they bother with him. I really don't.
I don't think it gets any better.
No, it doesn't. It goes pretty much the same from then on. You know, and Whitsitt's right. Whitsitt's right in that first order optical experiments won't detect the rotation of the Earth. But to say that no experiments will detect the rotation of the Earth is completely false, because when you go to second order experiments, they actually do. So he's completely wrong when he says that no optical experiment will detect the rotation of the Earth. Einstein was completely wrong about that, and he was only talking about the Michelson-Morley experiment when he said that.
Yes, as Nerd Alert points out in the side chat, it was only with respect to optical experiments, and he was only talking about the orbital motion of the Earth, not the Earth's rotation on its own axis.
And in particular, only first-order optical experiments. Yes. As soon as you go to second-order optical experiments, you then do detect the rotation of the Earth, as demonstrated by the Sagnac effect.
Yeah, it's bizarre that Whitsitt has decided. Yeah, he seems to have gone away from talking about flat Earth, and he's talking about Einstein. But he's obviously only cherry picking something that he thinks Einstein has said, because obviously Einstein wasn't a flat earther. So why would somebody who's a flat Earth proponent use somebody as eminent as Einstein, who clearly didn't think the Earth was flat, to try and prove that the Earth is flat?
I think they call it the fallacy of Stalin concept.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Bloody fallacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. It is. They do bandy. That's this fallacy and that fallacy. No, actually, you're just talking bollocks.
I mean, that's one of his defense mechanisms. Anyway, just keeps bringing up these fallacies. Oh, this is a fallacy. That's a fallacy. I don't give a blind toss whether it's a fallacy or not. But he's just repeating. I mean, is it me or is he just repeating himself? Like I said in the chat, it's like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
It's his script.
The same shit all over and over and over again. And the conversation.
It's his script, but he accuses MC Toon of having a script. I mean, Whitsitt accusing anybody else of having a script. I mean,
that conversation has gone around about 4 times, and they've ended up saying the same thing over again. That's why I'm just getting bored with it. It's just round and round and round and round in circles.
And even like MC Toon points out, even if you give him that no optical experiment could detect the rotation of the Earth, that only takes away one piece of evidence. There are
that's right.
thousands of other pieces of evidence that indicate that the Earth's rotating that don't depend on optical experiments.
Yeah.
I mean, like rockets and satellites.
Lots of things.
I know, but I just always find it's funny. It's the first thing you have to ignore if you're a flat earther, if you want to have any argument.
Yeah.
So
Zebulon wants to know what's first and second order experiments.
Well, when you go to Amazon and you don't get your what you've ordered, and then you try again.
That's the second order.
That's the second order.
Oh dear.
Well, the last little bit's only just a few minutes, so I'll just finish off with this bit.
So again,
it's the wrong test. It's the wrong instrument, Austin.
The actual test was to detect the motion of the Earth through the ether. It wasn't trying to measure ether. It was trying to measure the motion through a presupposed ether with the presupposed orbit, but it didn't detect that motion. So every attempt to detect the orbit of the Earth or to measure that movement has resulted in a negative result, which is exactly what you would get if it was stationary.
And what you'd get if it was rotating.
It would also be precisely what you would get if there is no such thing as motion relative to a reference frame known as ether.
It matches both,
sorry,
Austin.
I was talking to my wife. What'd you say?
It matches both, doesn't it?
It matches both.
It only matches both once you came up with the ad hoc explanation that time expands and slows down and matter contracts. So it's an illusion that the Earth is stationary.
Which has been empirically confirmed since then.
No, it has not, because the very theory itself says you could never actually measure that the length shortened because you're in the same space or reference frame that shortened.
Well, people have done those experiments. In that same reference frame. They disagree with you, Austin.
You can't name what. No, what they'll claim is like, look, this electron, quote unquote, went faster. Therefore, the tunnel must have shrank, but looks like it's the same size. And I know way more about this than you do, per usual. So the point is, this is the default position.
Kennedy Thorndike, Pound Rebka. You should look at
Kennedy Thorndike, dude. Kennedy Thorndike failed to measure the contraction. So you're just regurgitating DFE, but he gets destroyed on the regular in my emails as well. So you should find someone else to regurgitate.
Go read it. Go ahead. Go write up your rebuttal to Kennedy Thorndike. I'm sure the people would love to see
I just gave it to you. Have you ever read the paper?
Yes.
Wait,
you're lying.
Your rebuttal was that it wasn't detecting anything?
He's lying. He never read. Yeah, dude, literally in the paper, they concluded that they didn't detect the shortening. That's the conclusion. So how is that proof of
Kennedy Thorndike is measuring
time
dilation.
Keep interrupting, yeah.
Time
Your
dilation.
proof of the length contraction is that you couldn't measure the length contraction?
It was measuring time dilation in Kennedy Thorndike.
It was trying to measure length contraction, actually.
Well, the title is Experimental Establishments of the Relativity of Time. So the title doesn't work very well.
Sorry, say again.
Maybe you should. The
I was
title.
talking to my wife again. Sorry.
Tell her to
You're
stop.
boring.
We're gonna
What were you saying?
this conversation about 5
You mean
times.
sorry that my wife loves to talk to me, and I'm not a grown man that obsess over people I claim are stupid.
Kennedy Thorndike. The actual title of the paper. Experimental Establishment of the Relativity of Time. It wasn't actually about length shortening.
Okay, so it attempted to what Kennedy Thorndike did was attempted to measure the length contraction. They were trying to test Lorentz's idea, and they proposed an entire new electrodynamic framework to do this.
Weird. The title of it is Experimental Establishment of the Relativity of Time.
Okay, then how is it proving length contraction?
I was giving you several different things where relativity has been
at the
confirmed.
beginning of this, you asked for time dilation and length contraction.
No.
Now you're settling only for length contraction.
No, actually, we were talking, and actually, they did an experiment where they tried to measure the shortening of the arms. So I don't know if I'm mixing them up. I doubt it, because I know you haven't actually read it. Because if I asked you to describe what happened, you couldn't, and you're frantically trying to figure it out right now. But the point is that they tried to measure the length
on my website,
contraction,
Austin.
and they couldn't measure it.
My summary is on the website that I wrote.
Yeah, you probably put stuff on there that you didn't read. That's not my problem.
I have a summary that I wrote. I wrote the summary.
And
it's on my website.
So this has nothing to do with length contraction then?
No, it doesn't. It's time dilation.
Okay, so then how does it prove time dilation? Because I just watched DFE say that. I just watched him say it in the chat. I watched him say it in the conversation with you. Every time, interrupt me every time. I watched him invoke this exact same thing on your cover of my stream with FTFE. He invoked this as proof of length contraction, dude. And actually, he actually knew what it was, which was that it allegedly debunked Lorentz contraction with the ether, okay? And it's about the arms expected to shorten because one of the arms was a longer length, so they thought they came up with a crafty way to be able to tell if it actually shortened, and they didn't detect it, right? So that's what happened. Now, if this is a different test, but I don't think it is. In this test, they had two different length arms. If it's the same one I'm remembering, they thought they were going to be able to show length contraction, which is intrinsically tied to time dilation. By the way, I know you got a lot of people like chanting in the chat like you're winning or I'm wrong or something. They don't understand it either, though, right? Let's be real. So if there's time dilation, then there's length contraction. Those are interconnected.
Yes.
So then you agree that this is where they didn't detect the length contraction. That was the result of the experiment.
Yeah, I'll read you the title again. It's Experimental Establishment of the Relativity of Time.
So explain what happened in the experiment.
There, I can't on the top of my head. I can read the summary that I wrote after I read it, which is that it's verifying time dilation.
Oh wow! Just say it again. So
yes,
and you notice DFE.
I will definitely say it again because it is not about length contraction. It is about time dilation. The title of it does give that away. It's a bit of a hint.
So once again, they had different size arms in the experiment.
Yep.
And, and they expected one of them to shorten, and they actually even proposed an entire new electrodynamic framework to try to test this, and they couldn't isolate contraction. That was the result. Yeah, thanks for playing.
Ending the poll here. Didn't go well for you.
Yeah, wow, you have 240 zealots in the chat. What a shocker.
Look at that.
Dude, McTuner, are you going to pretend that was some like honest like survey you just took?
The question is whether or not you're pretentious.
People that are claiming that you're winning this debate the whole time,
Austin,
and I'm literally destroying you.
You are pretentious, Austin. That's objective. You're objectively pretentious.
By a vote on this server of 11-1, including flat earthers, yes, Whitsitt is pretentious.
Where's the vote?
It doesn't mean he's wrong.
Where's the vote?
He's right.
Well, now that they say that, Austin, I will say, yeah, it's been kind of painful having to hear you have to deal with them for sure. I just want to remind you, MC Toon for sure. He told us the other day that he doesn't stand behind anything that he says from previous days. You know what I mean? He incorrectly defined impedance earlier. I don't know if you caught that. And also
resistance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's resistance.
No, it's literally not. That's why it's a different word.
Yeah, because
it's
ohms,
resistance.
Ohms is measurement of resistance, but that's okay.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, what the hell?
What the fuck?
Sounds like he's picked. Sounds like he's picked something else up on the chat or something.
Why am I thinking something like square root of r squared plus x squared? I don't know.
Okay. Also, I just want to know. I just want to know. Can you clarify? Do you agree with Doofus that the measurement of the sun's movement during the day is a mean calculation, meaning non-consistent?
Yeah, to the level of precision necessary, you can find variation in all measurements, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Also, impedance is also measured in ohms.
Claim in your
so when he
talk
said earlier that resistance is measured in ohms, it's worth mentioning also impedance is also measured in ohms.
That is true. Yeah, they're both measured in ohms, but they're not the same thing.
But impedance includes reactance. Yeah, thank you.
Like they're different. Like impedance is like voltage divided by current or something like that. So this is the point, though. That is that free space has.
Oh my God!
Shut the fuck up!
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
He's got no idea what he's talking about.
Not
obviously,
a clue. The square root of r squared plus x squared. That's impedance, buddy.
Yeah.
My God, this is first year. Electrical circuit analysis 101.
Is impedance, and it's an electric and magnetic constant. But anyway, DFB is down the chat
just
saying,
for
but
reference,
Witsit,
impedance is for AC, not DC.
But Witsit, you claim in your talk that there is length contraction. And I've literally never claimed that there is length contraction. And so it's just for the audience, you should wonder, like, if this flat earth are so stupid, then like, why do they always have to lie about what I say?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing.
Well,
I mean,
you did
you
actually say
clearly were
earlier
going
we
into
don't have
depth.
any time dilation.
I'm sorry, I was speaking doofus. Thank you. You clearly were going into depth about that. Whatever you were just talking about, the experiment, and all he had to say was, well, let me read you the title. I think 4 times, that's all his rebuttal was. Like, let me just read you the title of this. He had no in-depth knowledge of anything that you were talking about, clearly.
Right, because Witsit kept talking about length. It was about time.
But the actual experiment tested length, doofus. It doesn't matter what the title said. In the actual experiment, they had 2 different length arms, and they wanted to see if one was going to contract. And then they found out they couldn't detect contraction. 5th time I've said that. Now you're not going to respond again. But I'm getting destroyed. I'm so pretentious. Oh man.
Thanks for the clip.
Yeah, I wouldn't let
How
them
lame
get
it is.
upset. Awesome. They're,
Well, I got one thing right.
you know what it is.
Like, think about how lame it is to be like a grown man and be like, oh man, I can take Austin out of context and clip him out and make a music video.
I mean, I think that's a loose term, grown man, but I mean, to be a
Dude,
grown
I'm 13.
man,
Don't put that on me.
2022, believing that the earth is spinning beneath your feet, I think it is kind of hilarious.
Well, even if the earth was like a spinning ball revolving around in a vacuum, tilted, wobbling, and all this stuff, right? It's like super
What's the
weird
wobble? What's
that
the
you
wobble,
would be
Austin?
like obsessed with flat
What's the wobble?
earthers
Austin, what's
for
the wobble?
years.
What's the wobble?
You didn't know that your model claims the earth wobbles?
Explain the wobble. Yeah, how much? What's the magnitude? Of
It's
the
not
wobble?
very much. That's irrelevant.
Okay. How much is it?
Not very much. I don't remember. It's like very, very small amount.
Okay. So what wobbling is if like it's a big thing that's happening, huh?
Well, it is.
Oh no, wait. Or were you just quoting Dubé because he always says wobbling?
No, your model claims it wobbles. I didn't even know Dubé says that. I've barely watched any Dubé.
Every 6 to 14 years, it wobbles 20 to 60 inches. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the Chandler wobble is not very much.
But it does wobble, so.
Yeah, because I was just checking. I'm curious because a lot of people think, and Globers do, that there's an annual wobble of the causes the seasons, but that's not what it is. So.
Wow.
No, that's the tilt, the 23 by 40 tilt, right?
But
the parallel sun rays and your path around the sun. Sorry,
absolutely, but there's a lot of people, including Globers, that think that the Earth does wobble annually the entirety of that 23 degrees. Nope. I saw a news article, on TV, where people are like, you can balance an egg on the equinox because the Earth's wobble is neutralized on the equinox. Like, holy crap, that's so wrong.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so, okay, I guess we've proven that you guys can't actually debate. But I would say is next time, bro, when you do a video covering me, try not to lie so much. Like one lie you said was I show the magnetic flux and then I show the weather pattern to pretend they're like the same thing because it looks different on globe. I've never done that my whole life.
You refused to show the actual version of that same thing on the globe. You didn't want it because it's
not that I refuse. No, it has nothing to do with refusing. I don't care to show that. And then you showed that it spins. Like everyone knows it spins, but it's like at the top and bottom that it starts to get shoddy, as opposed to a flat Earth, it stays consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except
so
it completely
that was a
works
lie that you
because
told.
I've seen maybe not you.
Of course it's not me, so you're lying about it.
Probably Bob, where it's you have the flat Earth version where everything's going just in circles, and then they have the globe version where there's all sorts of vortices. Like as if it's the same one, which isn't the case at all.
No, they don't know. Bob's never shown that, right? Because you can look at the weather patterns.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you've seen that. I mean, that's everywhere.
You guys are the worst people,
they
man.
love that
I feel
meme.
bad for you guys. So
you're
you
being
lied about me
pretentious
and
again.
said that I did that. You lied about me and said I did that. You lied and said that I didn't even know where the quote came from, and I claimed that it came from somewhere in 1952. That's a lie.
I already rescinded that. Go ahead, live in the past.
I know. I'm pointing out how much you lie. You then lied and said that I didn't understand that it was different than Lorentz contraction within the ether, and that I kept talking about the ether but didn't understand it. But the truth is, this conversation has shown very clearly that you were wrong. That entire stream and relativistic length contraction does apply to Michelson-Morley and does claim that the arm shortened, just that the entire frame of reference also shortened, so you weren't able to detect the actual shortening. That is objectively what your position claims relative to the motion of the orbit. So you lied for a whole hour chanting about how wrong I was about that, but actually you were wrong. I've shown that you cannot answer the question about the Machian principle, honestly. I've shown that you cannot actually address that relativity says you can't detect the motion of the Earth around the sun from the Earth. And I've shown that you can't answer the question of, well, what did relativity do to reconcile the negative results, even though I told you the answer, and that you repeatedly revert back to a straw man about MGP, which is about rotation. And then you have a talking point about how to talk in the future and make claims that he made claims about stuff in the future, which I did not. So the question is, like, if I'm so stupid and easily disproven, then you would not have to do that, right? Like, why would you have to lie about what I say and straw man it?
All right. Good monologue. I'll do my wrap up here. Austin, you don't have any evidence for flat Earth. You don't have any evidence that the Earth is stationary, so you must never talk about it, because you will always, every single time any claim is made about the shape of the Earth being flat and it's tested, it fails every time. Thank you, everybody. It's been good.
Yeah, so thank you, everybody, for realizing.
We don't need to listen to that bit.
No.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, how do you debate somebody that won't shut up?
Well, you don't. You just
and it uses pigeon logic tactics. You know, like as soon as he's getting challenged or as soon as he sees he's losing, he promotes himself as being intelligent and pats himself on the back, saying how good an argument he's producing and how he's winning.
Yeah,
you know, he just declares that he's winning without actually presenting anything.
Oh, they're praising him over on the Discord there today about the debate. Oh, how Wits had destroyed MC Toon.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a naked Professor Parks PhD out there. Would you like a spanner, Professor Parks?
Oh, Brian's been claiming that he destroyed cats and Mr. Sensible as well.
Oh, Brian did.
Brian was just Witsit's lapdog through the whole debate. Really, like,
he was a little yappy dog. And then said, but you ignored all the evidence I presented. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, you didn't present anything.
Witsit was like to Brian, sort of, sit down, doggy, sit down, heel, stay still, be quiet.
It's your chew toy. Funny. Go and sit in the corner.
Yeah. Chew your crayons. Go on, go.
It was about as useful as a fifth wheel in that debate. Yeah. I like the way when he started, he had his presentation and he said, oh, it's going too fast. It's going too fast. No, it wasn't. It was running at perfect speed, except he had no control over it, because what he should have done was kept pausing it. But no, he did. Oh, poor old Brian, bless him. Mm-hmm. Ain't got a bloody clue, that one. But that's okay, because he's got a big gold chain around his neck, so that makes everything better.
Well, what's significant about that gold chain?
It's just the whole look of him. He sits there with that big sort of innocent, sort of almost puppy-like face as he's on the screen, and just the whole look, the whole package is just like, you utter moron. And yet he thinks he's making valid points and presenting evidence, and I think they've listened to that guy far too much. He just does my head in. Come on, man.
Do you want a quiz?
We've
got a quiz.
Yeah, quiz. Just load it up, hopefully. Come
on. Alan, you're muted.
He's probably talking to somebody. He's probably talking to someone.
I think he's talking to somebody else.
Yeah. Yes. He said he was doing IT support or something.
Oh, yeah.
Phone support. That's what I said.
Yeah.
The table's very good at that.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, we saw that joke.
Yeah. And
Is he talking in an Indian accent?
My lip reading's not that good. I can't lip read and see if somebody's talking in an Indian accent.
No, thank you, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin. What? What do you mean? Good afternoon? It's
Keep quiet while I explain you.
Yeah. Oh.
Hello, my name is Bob. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. My name is Bert.
I actually had that last week. One of the contracts I was on, the agency had decided to start a pension for me, and I'd had an email sort of saying, "Oh, there's a slight change of terms," and I thought, "Bugger, I'd forgotten I'd even got this." And I've got several of these little pensions have been set up by various companies, and I'm trying to pull them all back together into one pot so that I know where the money is, and the one I want to transfer this across to my, I think it's Nest I'm using. And they didn't actually have like a policy number. And I'd emailed them and blah, blah, blah. And then this guy phones me up and he says, "Good afternoon." I thought, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, and he'd got an accent. I thought, right, that gives it away. Then you're in a call centre. Oh, don't get me wrong. He's very helpful. He sorted it out. But it's like when you say good afternoon and it's quite clearly 10 o'clock in the bloody morning in the UK. And he actually said it again later on. And I thought, right, it wasn't a slip of the tongue. It's afternoon where you are.
Can I answer the first question before anyone else does? No, it's
Wednesday. Wednesday.
Fibonacci Day. Fibonacci Day.
Is it? It's
yes,
not. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. What are you talking about?
Why is it Fibonacci Day then, Terry? Do you know?
Oh, I didn't get that far I just knew that's what it was.
It's Wednesday. The question is, what day is it today? It's Wednesday, obviously.
It's cut your Nautilus shell in half day.
No, it's not. It's Wednesday. I'm telling you right now. I know it's Wednesday.
So
I'm not wrong.
What is Fibonacci famous for?
The Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah. Which is November 23rd, celebrates Fibonacci Day because it is.
Hang on a minute. Did you give Terry the answers before? Did you give Terry the answers before this quiz? How did he know that?
He probably looked at Google.
No, I'm not Googling
screen today. No, I mean I think it's the Google screen today, isn't it?
Is it?
Yes.
Mine's not showing anything fancy today. Hang on, let's try it on the phone.
So there you go. Fibonacci sequence today.
No.
Question 1. Already done.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Okay, Matt, you can have question 2.
Question 2. Them's the jokes. I thought I'd start off with some jokes. See if you can get some answers. Don't worry, it's only this one page.
Oh dear.
Why did Mickey Mouse go to outer space?
Oh, something about Pluto. I don't know.
Yeah, to find Pluto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad jokes.
Yeah.
Why did the son go to college?
Don't know. Why did the son go to college?
Because already had 1 million degrees. Why didn't?
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Where do the keyboards go to have dinner?
Don't know. Why do keyboards go to have dinner?
McDonald's.
The space. Where? Not why. Where? The space bar.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll give that one. Yeah.
What is an astronaut's favorite chocolate?
Oh, Mars bar, of course.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's an old one.
Where would the astronaut park its spaceship?
Just park it, man, or spaceman, or something. I don't know.
In orbit.
It is spaceman parking meteor. Oh God.
Hey, hang on. I'm calling on the Mars bar. What's wrong with Galaxy?
Just no, Farmers. Okay, just no.
What about Milky Way?
No. Just no. It's Mars bar. Okay, just it's not a debate. It's not a debate. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Why isn't it a debate?
Okay.
Why can't we debate it?
Whether it's a debate or not?
Yeah.
Hello, is this the right room for an argument?
Okay.
Hear the Monty Python sketch.
For the interlude today. Whoops, don't do that. We're doing astronomer or other. Is this an astronomer or is it not?
He doesn't look like an astronomer, does he?
What do astronomers look like?
I don't know. Not like that. not like that. That's what I think.
If I told you his name was Thomas Graham, does that help?
Yeah, I'll say he is.
You say he is?
Yeah, I'll say he is.
I'll say he's other.
Okay.
I'd say it's
He's other. I never heard of him.
Yeah, no, he's another. He's a alchemist,
I was right.
physician, theologian. Well, in a medical religion, but
my theory
not-
was right. He doesn't look
not
like an
an
astronomer. Yeah, see, I was right.
Okay, let's get into some actual questions. Let's see. What's first? Surface of the Earth is about how many square miles?
God, I can't remember that one.
What's that what about in kilometres?
I have no idea because I didn't. I could convert it, I suppose. But if you want to put it in kilometers, that's fine. I'll convert it and I'll let you know if you're right.
42.
Where's my chat? Where's my chat?
What, 42 square miles?
42 something. I don't know. Could be thousand millions. I don't know.
All right.
No idea.
But seeing it's a sphere, how do you get the squares on a sphere?
4 pi r squared.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Okay.
About 149 million square miles or something. I don't know.
Could put an answer in the Anyone else? Apart from Nerd Alert? Yes. 96. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I clicked that. So he's pretty close.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty close. 200. Yeah.
Good enough, I think.
I guessed 140 billion square miles, but I wasn't too far away.
So what insect has the shortest lifespan?
A fly.
Daddy long legs. Daddy long legs. But I don't know what the the name of the daddy long legs is.
Is it a mayfly?
The one that bites. It's the one that bites me.
It has a very short lifespan after that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right. It is the mayfly. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
think it's the mayfly.
Mayflies.
Oh, there you go.
I think they only live about a day.
Yeah.
On average.
Okay. What sea is next to Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia Sea?
No. Because then it would not be next to it. It'd be in it.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
True.
Is the English Channel in England? No.
No.
Because it's between France and England.
But it's not a sea.
Yeah, okay, all right. It's
it's not,
channel,
is it?
then. It sort of is. It's because it's part of a sea, connected to the Atlantic.
Hang on. I can remember. It's,
we've got a correct answer out in the.
It's that one, isn't it?
He's Googling
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got it right. Fahamas has it right. Anyone else want to make a guess?
Because it's not. It's not the obvious answer.
Does it start with P?
No.
No.
That's with R.
The Red Sea.
It wouldn't be blue or green or
purple. It would be colour, yes.
Yeah, the Red Sea by any chance? Yeah.
Yeah, the Red Sea.
You see, you would think it would actually be the Arabian Sea.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yes, but
because Saudi Arabia doesn't actually have a coastline on the Arabian Sea, even though the proper name of the country is Arabia. Forget the Saudi bit, because that's just the royal family that rule it. It's called Arabia, but it isn't on the Arabian Sea. Well, that's an easy one.
Initials are JV.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yep. Should you get that one? Easy.
Can't remember. Oh, yeah, is it Jules Verne?
Jules Verne. Okay, John supposedly founded what Christian denomination in 1738?
Religion, don't know that one.
1738.
Oh, I think it was Presbyterian.
More.
I think it might be Presbyterian. Could be wrong.
You are wrong.
Anglican?
No, that's technically Anglican was founded by Henry VIII.
Or it could be Methodist. It's either Methodist or Presbyterian. I'm not sure which.
Take a pick. And I already told you one was wrong, so pick the other.
Well, I go with Methodist.
Presbyterian.
Methodist. Methodist, I think.
Yeah,
Methodist.
There you go. There you go. I do one or the other.
Okay. What's next? Oh, we have another astronomer or other. We have this guy.
I'll still go.
I think they're all old.
I'm going astronomer again.
Yeah, he looks like an astronomer, doesn't he? See?
I'll go for astronomer.
Yeah.
They're all old guys.
Yeah. Looks like
If I told you his name was Robert Flood.
Well, if you look at the top right-hand corner of this painting, it kind of gives it away. No, he's an astronomer.
He's an astronomer.
He was not an astronomer.
Oh, was
he did everything else, but he didn't do astronomy. He did astrology.
Hang on. It's just cosmology. Cosmologist. I mean, that's close enough, isn't it?
Close enough.
Cosmologist.
Really?
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Now you're just messing with us. No way you named your kid Fluctibus. Come on.
Yes, Fluctibus. So there you go. Robert Flood was not an astronomer. Back to the trivia questions. Oh, we're already up to question 6. Going through a bit quick tonight. Okay, ancient Chinese concept of harmonious is the word I'm looking for. Harmonious, which was created to introduce a balance between humans and their environment, is called what?
Not sure on the spelling.
Yeah.
Harmonious.
Yes.
Harmonious design.
Yes, you are. That's what I'm looking for, farmers.
I can't spell it.
I'm not sure the spelling of the second word.
It starts with an F.
It does. How many words has it got?
Terry? Don't make me say that word.
Two, and the second word starts with S.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 words.
Yeah.
In the second word. Yeah.
Oh, it's not Shang Fu. Is that related to Kung Fu? No, is what?
Everybody was Shang Fu fighting.
Everyone was Shang Fu decorating and it's something like that. Okay, I think you sort of guessed what it is. It is feng shui.
Feng shui.
Feng shui.
I was pronounced.
I did spell it right then. No, I weren't sure. I weren't sure on the second one.
Yeah, wasn't sure either. Okay.
Well, a load of crap.
Next one. No, well, there's something to it, but I don't know if it's reality. During the 1970s, David Bowie's diet reportedly consisted solely of milk, red peppers, and what else?
Oh, yes, I've heard about this. I can't remember.
Coke. I don't know.
Definitely wasn't Coke.
I think there was some involved. Yeah,
there might be some involved. Yeah. I have heard about it. So I don't remember though.
Played guitar.
Oh, it's Coke.
Yeah, probably was cocaine.
Oh, was cocaine. Wow. Okay.
Bowie's career definitely involved a lot of coke. As most of them in the 70s did, I have to say.
Well, I mean, could you strictly say that it was his diet?
Some of them, yes.
I mean, is that part of the diet?
Is it consumed?
They stayed so thin.
How many vitamins and minerals did he get out of it?
Here you go. Oh, I hope I got this one right. Crying after, I can't remember if I edited this one correct. I hope I've got it right. Crying after sex is as a normal response and is also called what?
Weird.
What?
Weird.
Why did the crying game just come to mind? I wish it hadn't. Oh god.
Child abuse.
Oh, come on, Blue. Come on.
What? Oh, dear.
Blue, go to your room.
You go to your room right now. Get your coat, leave.
Mummy, you were making a strange noise last night.
Don't,
what was
it? We're gonna get cough in a minute. YouTube are gonna colour. No, not having that.
I remember the eldest asking that one when I first started dating. What was that strange noise you were making last night? Don't worry about it.
Stewie says rejection.
What, afterwards?
Yeah. I'm not sure anyone's going to get this. So,
postcortial
postcortial dyspareunia.
Dysphoria.
Dysphoria. So not paranoia.
Dysphoria.
I tended to find that you're better off with a post-coital cigarette. Back in the days when I smoked.
Okay. In the Gilded Age, who was called the Witch of Wall Street? And she apparently only wore black and left behind a fortune worth $100 million.
God, that rings a vague bell. I can't think who it bloody was. No, I can't. I can't recall that one.
No one else venturing down that path. Okay. Hetty Green.
Hetty Green.
Yes.
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay, time for another little Oh no, I've got one more question. Oh, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 questions. That makes sense.
Oh, don't bring up Pete
tall,
Shea.
flightless bird of New Zealand became extinct 500 years ago. Was called what?
Pete Shea.
No.
That's above silver law.
Oh, that's the kiwi bird, isn't it?
No.
They're still there.
Kiwis aren't extinct.
12-foot tail flightless bird.
And they're also not 12 foot tall.
Oh, okay. I didn't read the extinct bit because I had my headphones on. Sorry.
Trying to remember the names of the extinct flightless birds.
It's not Pete Shea's dodo, is it?
No,
I'm joking.
I think we have a correct answer out in the peanuts there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that would be one of them. Yeah, that could well be it.
What, one of them?
The moa.
That's not a doo-doo.
Moa. No, not a dodo.
That doo-doo that you do.
Or the whatever, I think I'm a bit worried about what Emball was trying to type in there.
Dido. No, that's a singer.
I thought he might have had an extra L that he just forgot about.
12-foot tall, flightless bird that can't fly. What do you call that? A crying shame is what I call that.
A moa. A moa is the correct answer.
Yeah, moa.
Okay. Another astronomer. Take your pick. Anyone recognise this dude?
I'll go with that.
He looks like an astronomer.
He looks like, yeah. See, now you're getting a farmer's boy. You're going with what he looks like. There you go. That's
no, because I do vaguely remember the pictures of some of these old boys. You know, I'm fairly certain that.
Well, I've been going with astronomer all the time, so I'll stick with astronomer. I'm bound to get one right.
Okay,
he's got his eyes turned upwards towards the sky. So
so you can tell me. Can you tell me who it is then?
Bob.
Oh, that's a totally different question.
Bob. Just not Bob.
Dave, then.
Dave. It wasn't Dave either.
Bernard.
It was Galileo.
Oh, it's Galileo, is he?
Galileo.
It's Galileo.
Galileo.
Magnifico.
I knew I'd get one right eventually.
The face is vaguely familiar from all the old paintings.
I was very tempted to put no astronomers in there, but
yeah,
not to do that. Okay, back to the trivia questions. What's next? What famous actress once tried to hire a hitman to kill her?
Oh, yeah, that rings a vague bell as well, but I couldn't tell.
To kill herself? She hired a hitman.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember this, but I can't remember who it was. I've heard of this one.
She is famous, and it's not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What? He wasn't the hitman?
No, we're just answering to Peanuts.
Oh right.
I'm pretty sure the last time I looked, Neil deGrasse Tyson was not a famous actress.
No,
I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is for the previous question.
And I can tell you very.
I'm joking.
I can tell you very clearly that this actress and Neil deGrasse Tyson do not look like each other.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't.
Okay, no one's got any responses. It is Angelina Jolie.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She went through a rather weird phase in her life.
For a while. Yeah.
He wasn't very successful then.
Wasn't she married to Billy Bob Thornton?
Oh.
Billy Bob.
Brad Pitt, I think.
Well, before that, I think.
Before Brad Pitt.
Yeah. I think so. Is it Billy Bob?
So the hitman wasn't very successful then. Did she get a refund, do you think?
Well, she probably didn't get to hire him.
Oh.
What are a group of hippos referred to as?
Trouble.
Yeah.
Trouble, yes. Danger, yes.
Smelly,
yes. When they're
Oh,
together,
bugger, run away.
No idea?
Bird?
No.
No.
A herd? No. Okay, no answers out in the chat. Just make sure I'm not
a wallow. We've had a wallow of hippos.
A
Well, they're fat, so it'd be called a bloat, right?
It could be a wallow. Could be a wallow.
A mother-in-law.
Irish Jews.
It is a
bloat.
Yeah.
It is a bloat.
A bloat.
Oh, well. There you go. It is a bloat.
Not a mother-in-law convention.
No. Okay, I already clicked on it. How many statues? Sorry, not how many statues. How has the Statue of Liberty changed since it was built?
Didn't they put it on like a higher sort of, I don't know what you call it, a plinth?
No.
Originally it wasn't, I don't think.
Well, let's say since it was
Oxidized
erected
and gone green.
since it was erected at New York, because obviously it was built in.
Oh, did they put a light in the torch? And the torch, did they put a light up there maybe? Or something?
We have the correct answer out in the peanuts.
What? That it's gone green.
Yes.
Yes, because there's a lot of copper involved in it, isn't there?
It was not
That
green.
is indeed what I said, Timbo.
That was exactly.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear you say that. Sorry.
I said it's oxidized and gone green.
Green.
Yeah, I think someone talked over you, and I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I didn't hear you either. To be fair.
Yeah. If you'd said that, I would have definitely jumped on it.
Yeah, I said it was green
Yes,
too,
it just
Timbo,
changed
but you
colour.
couldn't hear me because somebody talked.
No,
over
you did
me.
not, because I could tell when you were talking. Here's an easy one. Should get this. Everyone should get this.
Antarctica.
Yeah, stand south.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Antarctica.
Do you know where on Antarctica is the driest place?
What, you want the specific coordinates or?
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd take that, but
no.
It's that bit over there. Not that bit. That bit. Yeah, that bit.
I don't really expect you to know
The
that.
middle
I think
bit.
Antarctica was
The
good
middle
enough.
bit.
The middle bit. It's actually the dry valleys in Antarctica.
Oh.
Anyway, which bird, because it's the valleys, obviously, the driest, which bird has the largest wingspan of any living bird?
The condor.
Do you get wafers for that?
I was.
Albatross.
I was going to say condor as well.
You're going to say condor? Is it how many say condor or how many say albatross?
I'm sticking with albatross.
Two of us said condor, I think. I heard somebody say condor.
Terry,
No?
Terry, just in case someone was talking over you, what was your answer?
What was the right answer?
He hasn't given it yet.
I said the condor.
Yes, it is. It is the wandering albatross.
That's what I said.
Albatross. No, condor.
Was somebody talking over you again, Terry?
Yeah.
Does it come with wafers?
Yeah.
Got to come with wafers.
Okay. I think this is my last interlude. Let's have a look. Astronomer or other. Anyone
I'll
know
go
this dude?
astronomer again.
I'm going to go other.
I'm going to go other.
I'm going astronomer.
This guy is actually very famous.
Other than.
Other. No, we've got a few others.
I think that one might be Tycho. Is that Tycho? I think that's
No.
Tycho. Oh, they all look the same.
No. Okay, his name is, and see if this changes your mind.
Is he named after the
no, he's
crater in the moon? On Nostradamus. All right.
Yeah, that is Nostradamus.
Nostradamus predicted it. No, he fucking didn't.
There you go. See. I was right. He's another. He was not an astronomer.
He's definitely not an astronomer. He was an astrologer, but not an astronomer.
Well, they are clearly not the same thing.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Oh, Mars is in your house. You're going to be rich this month. Yeah, piss off.
And that one is still today, the one that I said as an astronomer was a cosmologist. I think I should be given that one because it.
No, I don't think so.
Kind of is.
People today still believe Nostradamus was predicting stuff, but it's usually a case something happens and they go through and try and find the page something that sounds like it.
Yes.
And then you sort of say,
see, look,
well,
that happened, and he wrote this. Yeah. You're sort of twisting it to fit what's already happened. Yeah, right.
That's really useful prophecy that you can work out what happens after the event.
Can I just read something to everybody? Right, cosmology is a branch of astronomy that involves the origin of evolution. So I did get that one right the last time. He was an astronomer. So there.
I read my star sign today, and it said I'm going to be rich tomorrow.
Oh yeah, can I?
Yeah, because I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid tomorrow. Yeah.
Is your NASA shield check coming through then? Is it? Where's mine? I haven't had mine yet.
It's all right. It's all right, Matt. I will give you your share of the prize at the end of this because you got that question right. There you go.
Doesn't matter. I still haven't had my check from NASA yet.
Astronomy Domini.
Okay, let's go for another round of questions. Which creatures produce gossamer?
My ex-wife.
It's caterpillars, isn't it?
No, it's my ex-wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have one of those, so I don't know.
Spiders.
My ex-wife doesn't produce gossamer.
Spiders is correct. Okay. Do you know that? What is the only king in a deck of cards without a mustache?
Oh, that would be the ace, the king of aces.
The king of aces.
No, I mean, what am I trying to say? King of. What am I trying to say? Sorry.
Okay, let's now.
I'll never rephrase that. Oh God. No, the king of spades. Sorry, I was thinking of ace of spades, and I was thinking king of spades.
Club, you say spades.
King of spades. That's what
I'll go diamond.
You're going diamonds, are you? I don't know why you'd go diamonds. It's the king of hearts.
Oh,
hearts was going to be my first choice.
I got it horribly wrong on both counts. Oh dear.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, no, king of hearts. Just think about it, because they have the black. So both black ones have a mustache because they print black. So they don't want to have red. So the king.
It wasn't
had
the king
to be
of
one
aces.
of the red ones. Had to be one of the red ones.
Wasn't the king of aces.
Wasn't a king of aces. No.
Damn it.
You'd be
Did you know for a while?
Poker,
Do you know why the?
Oh,
do you know why the ace is considered the death card? The ace of spades, that is. Sorry.
Good question. Don't know.
I can't remember which king it was, but there was a king who they were the only ones allowed to produce a deck of cards. And if you had, and the thing was, is if you had a ace of spades that was not the king's one, you could be put to death.
Ooh.
Well, that's paraphrasing very simply, but you get the gist of it.
Okay.
That's why it's considered the death card. How long is a jiffy?
Half a mo.
Half a mo?
In a bit.
No. No. Keep going.
Or was it like saying Northern Ireland now in a minute?
Now in a minute, yeah.
I'm just making sure no one out in the thing gets heard. No one knows out there. It is actually a measurement. It's not.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Might have to Google that.
It's a measurement of time, even. There's 1/3 of a second.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty quick.
Learn something new every day.
It's a jiffy. There you go. What was the first Time magazine Man of the Year? Oh, sorry, who was the first Time magazine Man of the Year?
Ooh, don't know.
Well, you have to think of how far back Time magazine goes.
Goes back a long way. Because at one point, it was Hitler, wasn't it?
Yes, before the Second World War, it was. Yes.
Yes, it was. Yeah, they actually had him as Man of the Year.
But they don't have him as being they always meant that it was not the best person, it was who was having the most influence.
Yes. And he must have, and in the late 30s, he most definitely was. Yeah, I can't remember which year it was.
That's why I think Trump eventually was on there as well. So,
wasn't Chiang Kai-shek, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I'm
not even sure who that is. Okay, no answers. No answers out there. It was Charles Lindbergh.
Oh, yes. Right. He was famous for several reasons. Only one of which was being the first man to fly solo across the Atlantic.
Yes, and this was I think before his child was still.
That's the other reason he's famous. Yeah.
Yes,
his child was kidnapped.
Yes, because he was famous.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Okay. What are the two stone lions in front of the New York Public Library? What are the names? Sorry. People should be quite aware of there's two lions at the front of the New York Public Library.
What were the names?
Any ideas?
I didn't even know there was two stone lions in the front of a New York library.
No.
Bob and Fred. No, it wasn't Bob and Fred. Being outside of the library, they're quite Bert and Ernie. That'd be a good name. Should promote them, be changed to Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
No.
Statler and Waldorf. They should be Statler and Waldorf. Yeah.
Patience and Fortitude.
Oh.
There you go. Well, it is a library, so they're not going to.
Well,
okay.
I don't have patience, so you forget that one.
I think this is the last page of the day. One last astronomer.
Astronomer.
Astronomer. Okay.
Before he even comes up. Oh, that's other. Because I recognise that, and I don't think he was an astronomer. Genuinely.
Okay. So no relation to astronomy. Okay. Anyone's out in the.
Well, unless he's a cosmologist. Well, unless he's a cosmologist, in which case he is an astronomer.
No, I don't think he was a cosmologist. I got to admit, he definitely wasn't a cosmologist. Okay.
Definitely other.
What if I'm going to give you his name and let's see how many come up with the answer.
Edmund Halley. Oh dear, I could be wrong. Not named after Halley's Comet, is he?
He's not named after Halley's Comet.
Yeah, they named him after Halley's Comet, Matt. Yeah, they named him after that.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I can't get my words right today. I really can't.
Yes, they may have named a comet after him, but yes. Yes, best known for the comet bearing his name, Edmund Halley worked on a wide range of scientific problems before becoming the Astronomer Royal in 1720. There you go. So definitely Terry was right.
Yeah.
2 out of 5 is not bad, Terry.
Yeah. See, I knew the odds would be in my favour somehow. That was fun.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. That was
that was good.
That was a good laugh.
I'm having a real problem with words today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah, we're going to soundbite that. What is it? The King of Aces or something?
King of Aces.
King of Aces.
I have to come around to your place to play poker. Yeah.
We've still got that other quote from a few weeks back too.
Well, actually, the last time I played poker, I actually won quite a bit. Actually, well, we were playing for 20p's. Consider about 10 quid a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
Well, in 20p's, that's not a bad stash, is it?
Yeah, I think it's about 10 quid.
We used to play for matchsticks, I think.
Yeah, we used to play it down the pub, and we was only allowed to play it with matchsticks. We weren't allowed to play for money down the pub.
No, because it's gambling.
Exactly.
And you have to have a license.
Yes.
What are we up to now, Terry?
I don't know. We're still going, so everything's still working.
It hasn't crashed yet.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many hours there's a limit or not. Rob out in the Discord said, Terry, does the stream something Zoom if you want to join something? What? Oh, Blue Saints.
Yeah, what? Yeah, but when, why, how?
Well, I only just read that.
I don't think I've caught up to that. I might be out of my chat doesn't say any of that. What?
So I haven't been coerced yet, Blue. What role did I give you? Does he need the Oz squad? Yeah, I only just gave him the normal role to start with. Well, while I go scrolling through to see what else I can find, because I grabbed a Wally and I grabbed Simon. So I'll have a look and see if I can find an Anton. I think there was an interesting Anton that I wouldn't mind seeing.
Yeah, you have to weed through some of Anton's because I'm sure it's all fascinating, but some of them are like, well, some of them are like, oh, hang on, that looks good.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just go to his channel, and we'll just.
I think the other problem is his voice.
Okay. So I'll just scroll up to find Anton. Right, there's an Anton. So I'll go to his channel. That makes it easier if I do that. Live videos, which one do you use? I hate it the way YouTube's bloody changed it now.
I'll split it up between videos and live streams.
Yeah, so what is it classed as a live stream or a video?
No, it should be a video. I don't think he does. Anton doesn't do live streams, does he?
No, I don't think he does. I've never seen him do one.
So we've got new massive structures found around Andromeda Galaxy, Betelgeuse dimming anomaly update, strange magnet. Magnetar. That seems to have
strange magnetar. Yeah.
Have solid surface, weird reason. Change that update. Oh, we can always get updates from.
How about the Beetlejuice one?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, don't say it a third time.
Oh, okay.
Beetlejuice.
Damn it.
What's wrong with the massive structures found around Andromeda Galaxy?
We can blow that if we like, but I just think Beetlejuice sounds more interesting, personally.
Candyman.
Yeah, don't. You said it 3 times.
It's okay. In the original novel, it's 5 times.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yes. And he wasn't black. And it was set in Liverpool.
Well, as long as you don't say rumpus 3 times.
Rumpus?
No, don't say it. Somebody mute him, please.
I have a different invocation for him. Utter. That's not enough times. Utter.
What, so we're getting one more time and a big.
So you guys are voting Beetlejuice, the Peanuts, Beetlejuice or Andromeda Galaxy?
Peanuts, vote Beetlejuice, or I will find you and kill you.
You know how I said my weather app had been absolutely spot on today?
Yeah.
I just looked out the window. Oh dear. Oh, sky's looking dark. That's going to tip it down again. That's been absolutely spot on so far. That's a first. So I cleared blue skies a couple of hours ago. 800 times in 2 seconds? Nah, that ain't going to happen.
Beatles. We've got a Beatles. Okay. Looks like the Beatles win. Okay.
Third Stones myself, but you know.
So is there any
key?
I've got Wally. Got Simon.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I had an email yesterday, and it just shows that my patience pays off. You know, you have these like Kickstarter projects. There's one for books that's called Unbound, and you can sponsor a project, and if enough people do it, it goes through, and the book gets printed. 2.5 years I've been waiting. I think it's turning up tomorrow. Never had to wait for a book so long in all my life.
Okay. That's it. That'll do.
You there, are we?
Yeah. I thought there might have been another Everett. Oh yeah, there's another Everett. Where's it? Where'd that go? I thought I grabbed it. I lost it. Because they're only a couple of minutes long, so.
Oh yeah, they're yeah. 3, 4,
Oh yeah,
5
here it
minutes
is.
at
Yeah.
most. Keeps them short and sweet, doesn't he?
I'll put that there, and I'll move Wally over. Where's Wally? Put Wally over there. There we go. That's your order. And we're going alright for time. By the time we finish off these few, we'll be finished. Well, I'm not getting it glitching like it was a couple of weeks back. I was starting to get glitching in the screen on some of the windows with the OBS, so it's not doing that tonight. So that might have been a clue for it to be having a problem. But anyway, yeah, if only that newest one was able to be resized, but for some reason they changed it. So I hold no responsibility for the accuracy of my answers. All answers may be questioned. I will be given the due consideration that they are probably correct, but have no impact on the results or prizes. Oh, that's a disclaimer. Okay.
Ah, and actually, this saves me typing it out in Twitter. Yeah, Demon Orb. Yeah, when you're done, if you can pinch, there's a stug in there. I wouldn't mind that. Thank you very much. He's at Duxford, and he asked me if he wanted to borrow a tank when he goes. So yeah.
He wants to borrow a tank.
Or a tank. Yeah, there's a Stug. That's quite nice.
Mm.
I'm not sure whether the Jagd Panther's still there or not. If you want to borrow that. I was going to say a Chieftain, but it'd probably break down on you anyway, so. Because they have a habit of doing that because the engines were shite.
I was watching a movie the other day. It had some World War II machinery in it.
Oh yeah,
it'd be interesting. I'd have to show you the movie later and see if you can point
have
anything out.
Have you kept up to date with your museum there on YouTube?
No, I'm
one this morning.
No, I'm gonna binge watch that because of the for each project. I'd like to watch one project and follow it through. So.
Ah, right. No, that's they put one out earlier on today. That's quite good.
Yeah. I
Just
don't usually watch a lot of stuff during the daytime.
No.
As in the peanuts, we typed in into Google, since the conversation was on the accuracy of Google. Is the Earth flat? So I think if you type that in, you'll see the response that Google gives.
Okay, is the Earth flat? No, the Earth is roughly a sphere. Well, you see, obviously Google is controlled by them.
Yes.
It's all part of the global conspiracy. Global. Oops. Flat. Shit, that don't work. It's controlled by the Illuminati, obviously, and they don't want you to know the truth. So they're peddling the lie that the Earth is roughly a sphere because reasons. You can't trust Google.
Nude Alert says that if you're on the Google homepage, it comes up before you even type it, before you even press enter. Let's try that one.
Okay, I've got as far as is the, and the first response is the Earth flat? No. No, the Earth is roughly a sphere.
Right, we're going to do, type it into the Google search
type
here.
in there. Right, type in is.
Yeah, is
the.
Yeah.
What's the first response? Don't push enter. Does it in the pull down, drop down? What's it say?
Is the Earth spinning faster?
Scroll down.
I know. Well, go Earth then. Is the Earth flat? And see what in the drop down before you press enter. What does it say?
Is the Earth a perfect sphere? Is the Earth round or oval? Is the Earth bigger than the Moon? Is the Earth a sphere? Yeah. Oh, so it's got quite a few others first.
Yeah.
Well, one is the Earth flat, and then in big letters it says the Earth is roughly a sphere.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've got to put in here, is the Earth flat? There.
No, not delete.
Oh, sorry. Try again.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's roughly a sphere. You don't even have to hit enter. Because Google's tired of your shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get a warning, do I, if I do it again?
Stop being so bloody stupid. Of course it's not flat.
Yeah.
Google does do a few little Easter eggs like that.
Yeah.
Like I think if you type askew.
That's right. The whole display sort of tilts over, doesn't it? There's all sorts of weird things it does. Yeah.
I wonder if you do the same is space fake. Let's see. Is space fake? No, doesn't do the same.
No.
Oh, hang on it, because I've got it in caps. Let's see if that makes any difference.
No.
Don't yell at Google.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. No, you're right.
And you really don't have to type the question mark either. I had a t-shirt to Riley years ago.
Yeah. It took me a long time to get out of that habit, I must admit.
Google doesn't care about your punctuation.
No,
That's right.
Well, do you remember the days of Ask Jeeves? Do you remember that?
Oh God,
yeah, and you had to put a question at the end of it, question mark at the end of it, and I think that's why I did it for a long time. Took me a while to get out that habit in Google.
Yeah, Google's smarter than that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this bozo. Stop having the go at flat earthers. Stop saying the earth is flat then, eh? Just a thought.
Oh, don't forget, Google is government run, owned, controlled.
Which one? Which government?
What? When?
The government. The
When?
the
When?
them.
Well,
When?
then,
The government. NASA. No, actually, come to think, no, it's NASA controls everything.
Oh, sorry. This is in the world of fantasy, not reality. Okay, that's all right then.
Yeah, you got the idea now. You're getting the idea now. That's it. There you go.
I was going to say, no, Google took over Elite, Excite, and Elite. Not a really good search engine.
Well, I mean, don't forget, NASA and government are the same thing, aren't they? So, you know, when you say NASA, you mean government. You mean government, you mean NASA.
Illuminati.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, the Illuminati, they're all the same thing. They're all the same group. Terry?
Yes, Matt. I didn't want to
Yeah,
interrupt
you.
you.
Play? Well, I'm waffling.
I didn't want to talk over the top here. I didn't want to talk over the top here.
Well, makes a change.
I think Matt said something.
Yeah, do you want to press play?
Yeah.
All you flat smackers, you're not helping us. You're not.
That's what they're supposed to be.
The globe heads,
That's not how it takes.
the globe heads and globe tards, specifically the globe tards, are indoctrinated. Their minds are completely brainwashed.
No, you're
fucking
brainwashed.
Crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
Okay, they have a core memory bank. That core memory bank, okay, has information in it already. That core memory bank must be purged. It must be deleted.
That's not funny, you sick fuck.
All of that memory must be deleted before you try to put any type of new information into that mind, into that memory bank. You guys comprehend this?
Well, I can respect your opinion. Sadly, I'm not good at rejection. I'm afraid you'll have to die.
The globe is not something that's real. It's imaginary. It's something we've been indoctrinated to imagine. All right?
No, you silly livers. No!
All you flat smackers are doing it wrong. I never told you guys to flat smack anybody. Never once. I said globe bash.
Well, I didn't know all that, so I'm sorry.
What we're doing is we're taking their memes, taking their stupid CGI, taking their stupid cartoons, and putting smiley faces on it.
You couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat.
At this point, I have no choice but to compare that stupid shit to flat smacking shit.
What you're saying is libelous.
All right. So this is not just going out to globe tards. This is going out to flat smackers too.
Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around.
You guys are no different from one another. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I honestly don't care.
You are ugly when you're angry.
Hey, I don't care if you get upset that a globe tard keeps telling you that they keep seeing a globe in their head. I don't care.
Get out of here! Don't make me freaking shoot you when a man needs crack. A man needs crack.
That's your fault. Why are you trying to convince a globe tard to imagine something else when all they can see in their mind, okay, is a fucking globe?
Even you deserve better than this.
They see heliocentric shit. It's in their core memory bank. You can't cram something new in there that doesn't make sense to them.
I'll fucking cunt punt the next person I hear doing something like that.
They themselves have to become aware that the globe has always been indoctrination. It has always been brainwashing. All right?
Could you chill for a sec?
Okay? And all of us should have enough confidence and enough trust, okay, to know that logical sense prevails.
Should have quit while you were ahead.
I hope I set the record straight.
You're about as useful as a cock-flavored lollipop.
I know a lot of you flat earthers are probably going to be mad at me, but honestly, I didn't start this whole shit so you guys could sit there and try to impose your beliefs onto others.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Oh, it's getting crazier.
So who's he sticking up for, the flat earthers or globies?
No, he's sticking up for himself, basically, because he has this flat smacker, which obviously he doesn't agree with the way people are using his own concept. So.
Poor thing.
I thought he had trouble with words.
Yes. Things like the Earth is a globe doesn't work for him.
No.
Yeah, you're indoctrinated, so you have to forget everything you know and believe what I'm telling you.
Yeah, I wouldn't get a bit like that.
Yeah, it's about the long and the short of it.
We haven't had Wally for a while.
No, he's not done much for a while, has he? In all honesty.
I don't even know what this is all about, actually.
You're not there, Matt.
Lucy, something about Lucy in the sky.
Yeah, Matt's not responding. So, Terry,
no, because he's gone away for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Can you please push play?
Be back in a few. Be back in a jiffy or back in a few?
No, if it was a jiffy, he'd already be back.
You know.
Can you push play, please?
Oh, g'day everybody, where's Wally here? Hey, I saw a tweet by Paul Byrne who shared this NASA image. It was taken by the Lucy spacecraft as it was approaching Earth for a gravity assist. Now, Lucy was about 1.4 million kilometres away from the Earth at the time. The detail is a little lacking, but you can easily see the Earth and make out the South Pole. So I did just what anyone would do, and I went hunting for the Discover Epic camera image that matches. The Discover had a few taken that day, and one taken by Lucy shows the distinctive clouds and Africa. And it was not that hard to find. Now, ain't that pretty? Thanks, Epic Camera. But wait, why is the Earth rotated anti-clockwise in this Lucy image? Isn't Antarctica meant to be at the bottom, so to speak? So look, I bet someone at NASA or wherever has cropped and rotated the image and put the moon level with the Earth, just to please our human brains. So what is the correct orientation to line up with the epic image? Well, if we look at the Nautical Almanac for the moon's GP at 1 p.m. on the 13th of October, UTC, we see that the GP was about 22.75 degrees north latitude. So let's rotate the whole Lucy image by almost 23 degrees clockwise. Oh, there we go. The image lines up nicely now. Just as well flat earthers didn't see that, they might have been more confused. Oh no, I see another thing that flatties might think doesn't look right. Now, doesn't the globe model say that the radius of the Earth is 3.666 times that of the moon? So let's count some pixels, and oh dear, it's 5.2 times. That's not even close. And while we're at it counting those pixels, doesn't the model say that the moon is supposed to be 39,866 kilometres away on that day, making it 30.9 Earth diameters away? And we can measure the distance, and it's only 17.7 Earth diameters away. Okay, so the moon is too small and the moon is too close. Or is it? Now, the almanac tells us what's going on here. We know that the image was taken on the 13th of October. We also know that the full moon was on the 10th of October, just a few days earlier. Now, had Lucy had taken this image on the 10th, the moon and the Earth would have been right beside each other, because Lucy had the sun at its back. And we know that it has the sun at its back because we're seeing the full disk of the Earth and the moon. So let's look where the moon was at the time Lucy took this snap. I went and found MoonCalc and tried to find the GP of the moon right about then.
So it was over the Western Pacific Ocean on the night side of the globe. So, you know, left and back a little bit from Lucy's perspective. So when you have a proper look at the alignment and look at the angles, and you can tell a lot from the angle, you can see that, well, the moon should indeed appear closer to the Earth. And because it is further away, it should also appear smaller comparatively. Well, I hope the Euclidean nature of this Lucy image isn't lost on those who love to worship Euclid. And while we are watching the full moon and the lovely lunar eclipse a few days ago, I noticed something really cool on the ISS video feed. The ISS was passing over the USA at midnight, and the near full moon was reflecting so much light down onto the clouds that the ISS was able to see the clouds by moonlight. And even better, the underside of the ISS was illuminated by moonshine. By moon-earth shine. Yeah, I think that's what was going on. So I grabbed these images from a channel that loves to stream the ISS. Now I'd highly recommend everyone subscribe to him. That way you'll have the link to his latest videos in your notification list, and if you see something interesting on the ISS feed, you might be lucky enough to be able to find the live feed and go back and have a quick look at it. APAS is the name of the channel, and I highly recommend jumping on that one and getting a subscription. And as I'm taking so long to put this video out because things like Artemis are happening, I also saw a similar image from the Orion as it was looking back at Earth. And once more, to the Epic camera I go, and voila, the same nice validated image. And with Africa once more at the centre. Why Africa? Can't we have a snap of Australia, please, NASA?
No. Oh, it's all fake.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Oh, well, it has to be. Otherwise, the Earth ain't flat.
Well, look at that. It comes up here now. Is Earth actually flat? How did that happen? It came up in the middle of the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Oh, another Everett. Flat Earth overwhelming evidence.
Yeah, best of luck with that one.
Oh, here we go. We're going to get some new evidence, are we?
We've been waiting.
I don't want to spoil it for him.
I was just going to say we've been waiting for Matt.
Yeah, I was away for a bit. Yeah, Terry.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to replay the other videos just so you can see?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. I've got to unmute first.
Unmute. I was just going to say unmute first, and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready.
Yeah, Terry.
Yes, Matt.
You want to press play?
Okay.
So I wanted to share the story of why I believe Flat Earth.
Yeah, man, come on. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
I know how crazy it is. Trust me, I know how crazy it is.
But you didn't move on. You never went to find a life.
My major in college was biology. It was almost astronomy because I loved space so much.
You unspeakable cat!
But I didn't really know what I would do with an astronomy degree.
No, obviously not.
Funny story, I never used my biology degree either.
I can't because I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
I loved space. Loved it. Star Trek, Star Wars, all the ancient alien stuff. I mean, that was my jam.
I look around this room and I see nothing
Why do they all
but
say that?
untapped
All of them
potential.
do. Yeah.
You have potential. You have... Oh, boy.
But about 3 years ago...
Say that, but don't know anything about it.
What did you do?
I had fallen really deep into the truthers movement. And there was this Christian guy.
Oh, shit.
Trying to expose all the lies of the world and so on.
feel I was denied critical, need-to-know information.
Well, one day, he starts putting out flat earth stuff. And I was like, great, you're a psychopath. Now I have to unfollow you.
For this, you will pay a terrible price.
It took me 8 months of diligent research before I was willing to plant my flag on this one.
You must be so embarrassed!
There was just so much overwhelming evidence when you finally tapped into the sources to find it.
0.0.
It took me a few months to even find any usable information, though. Turns out, later, it's because the government actively admits that they censor it.
Y'all saw it? Y'all saw it right here, the monkey lied?
They don't want you to know about all this stuff. Because it completely disproves their godless, Big Bang, evolution, nonsense universe that they've created.
You make up excuses to the people around you and to yourself. You're stuck in the same dead-end job you have been for years. You don't have a girlfriend. You don't have anything close to a girlfriend.
And they're a bunch of sun-worshipping pagans who put the sun at the center of the universe. Shocker there.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
I mean, such a big lie. Such a life-changing lie. But they are capable of anything.
Well, at least I know they'll never be able to replace me. Quack! Looks like they already did. What?
Did he say we put the sun at the middle of our universe?
Yeah, I just want to poll that a little. Timbo, do you put the sun at the center of the universe?
No.
Farmer's Boy, do you put the sun at the center of the universe?
Nope.
Terry, do you put the sun at the center of the universe?
Is that a trick question?
Oh no.
Yeah. I hope not.
Yes or no?
Of course not.
No, of course you don't. Because nobody says that.
But he was an expert.
Maybe
he was really into all this science and globe stuff before. So
yeah, he was really into it. And obviously, yeah, he knew all that. Yeah.
He looked at all the evidence.
All the evidence of the sun being at the center of the universe. Really? Okay. They all say that, don't they? Say, "Oh, I was really into the space stuff. I loved it." And then you ask us some really basic questions.
Basic questions that don't
Not a clue. Not the first idea. Yeah, of course you were. Good story, bro, as they say. What they do. Good story, bro.
Bro.
Bruh. Was it bruh?
Bruh?
Bro. I don't know. One or the other, bro. One of them.
Yeah. They're the sort of people that say that up is down.
It's just a wave of the hand, isn't it? Oh, good story, bro. Move on. Harry? You want to unmute and then press play?
Okay. In that order?
Would be good, yeah. The best to do it in that order, yeah.
In that order.
If it makes it more entertaining.
This is Anton, and today we're going to be discussing Beetlejuice once again, and specifically that mystery of the dimming of Beetlejuice from 2019-2020. Because as you might remember, a few years ago, it had this unusual event when the actual brightness of the star dropped by nearly 60% for no apparent reason, with the dimming itself lasting for several months. And the initial explanations involved some kind of a large emission from the star which probably produced quite a lot of dust that then left the star and very likely blocked some of the star from our perspective. Even if this is exactly what happened here, we still don't understand why this event occurred, or why the star had this unusual emission. I mean, the actual effect was quite dramatic. The star on the right is what it looked like at its dimmest, making this one of the biggest mysteries of the last few decades. And so in this video we're going to explore some of the new propositions, and actually some of the more eccentric propositions, on why exactly the star experienced this unusual emission, and why it suddenly released so much matter, which ended up blocking the star for at least a few months. because right now this is still the best explanation. But I guess first, it's important to understand that these stars have very different properties from stars like our Sun, which are a lot more compact and a lot more spherical. Our Sun is also going to become a similar red giant in the future, but not as big as Betelgeuse. But when it does, it's going to start acquiring very similar properties, with the star itself expanding several hundred times in size, becoming much cooler, but also becoming a lot more unstable in terms of its actual shape. Even a single convection cell on the surface here is sometimes 20 to 30% the radius of the star itself. The convection cells on the Sun are tiny in comparison, and as a result, these stars tend to actually move around a lot more, and it's even difficult to pinpoint exactly what their center is. For example, here's a model kind of showing us that the center of the star jumps around every few weeks. And so these stars definitely vary quite a lot and change their shape all the time. The surface here is kind of difficult to define. But having this object release such a huge amount that then dims it by 60% is a different story. And so one of the earlier suggestions was that maybe Betelgeuse is approaching its sort of end. Maybe it's about to explode and go supernova. And knowing what we know about these stars, or basically knowing that they usually take a few thousand years to go through this particular stage before they go supernova, there's actually a very intriguing way to find out if this idea is correct. It involves looking at some of the ancient records from various civilizations that looked at the star before. So for example, this study that looked at this a few months ago, and specifically focused on Betelgeuse and Antares, discovered that Antares was quite the same for a long time, but Betelgeuse has changed in the last few thousands of years. It seems to have changed in color compared to some of the earlier observations from the Chinese observers, which implies that maybe Betelgeuse has actually entered this stage only relatively recently, which also means that it's going to stay in this particular stage for a very long time. In other words, assuming that these observations are correct, it's not going to go supernova for thousands and thousands of years, and it is just going through its early transition stages. Now, likewise, if it has only recently entered this relatively active and relatively giant stage, there is another really important implication from all of this, and it actually has something to do with what you might see around Betelgeuse. It naturally might have had some planets that formed here early on. Now, it's obviously not certain if it ever had planets, and there's probably no direct way to find out right now, but assuming that it did have planets, it most likely, as it expanded, ended up consuming some of them relatively recently, within the last few hundreds of years. And intriguingly, a recent paper kind of described this in some detail. It essentially described what happens to various stars, giant stars, when they do swallow certain planets. And in the process they did discover that if the planet is really giant, and if it's really massive, the star itself will start having unusual effects on the surface and potentially even behave in very chaotic ways. Specifically, it can actually affect the star's rotation, it can even change its chemical composition, and it can actually create quite a lot of unbinding energy, which ends up releasing huge chunks of atmosphere. So I mean, kind of like what happened here. So in other words, there is a bit of an implication that maybe, and it's a big maybe, there was a giant planet that was swallowed by Betelgeuse in the last few hundreds of years, and that planet might be causing some of the disruption we're seeing, with the chunk then becoming loose. And so because the planet was eaten and the planet is now stirring the star from the inside, this vigorous stirring resulted in some of the parts of the star then essentially being thrown off and escaping into the outer space. Although for most extreme effects, the planet will have to be really massive as well, basically a brown dwarf. And so in this case, this particular planet, this terrestrial planet, would very likely not be enough. But if Betelgeuse had some kind of a Jupiter-like object, or even something more massive than Jupiter, and more specifically, some kind of a hot Jupiter orbiting around it, that could maybe explain some of these effects. At least that's one of the initial propositions here, one of the initial potential explanations. But then we have another one that's a little bit more extreme, or I guess a little bit more curious, interesting, unusual. I mean, choose the word yourself. It does involve a black hole. So the paper in the description below proposes that it can also be explained if there was something relatively massive and something relatively dense passing close enough to the star to essentially cause what's known as a tidal disruption. Now, we normally talk about tidal disruption events when it comes to very massive black holes, and normally stars being spaghettified and essentially shredded by black holes as they approach a black hole really close. But that's not entirely what we're talking about here. In this case, it could have been a slightly opposite event. There could be a black hole in orbit around Betelgeuse, or possibly some kind of a dense, massive object passing relatively close just this once. And having an object like a neutron star, a black hole, or even a white dwarf in orbit of a red giant is actually very common, so that's definitely not impossible. And because in this case the observations do suggest that whatever happened was on the outside and not inside the star, it kind of does imply that something disrupted the star, or possibly something caused the star to be disrupted from inside as well, by either doing something on the inside or by doing something on the outside. As a matter of fact, the star itself is just a little bit too big and a little bit too active to suddenly have these changes as a result of changes inside the fusion reaction or inside the core. So the disruption and the dimming really appear to have some kind of an external effect independent of the star's activity. And in this case, if the shape of Betelgeuse's outer atmosphere did change and resulted in what's known as gravity darkening, a phenomenon usually visible around stars that spin really fast, where the actual equator appears much darker than the polar regions, one possibility here is that maybe Betelgeuse has gone through something similar. Something caused a part of the equator to move away from the core farther than the rest of the star, which in the process reduced the temperature and thus reduced the brightness. And intriguingly enough, we do know that the temperature here did change. As a matter of fact, the observations about this were completely accidental. There's actually this Japanese satellite known as Himawari 8 that creates some of the most beautiful pictures of the region, allowing us to keep track of everything including hurricanes, including pollution and a lot of other things, such as sudden eruptions of volcanoes. This is the famous eruption of Tonga. And in this case, this particular satellite, because of its ability to observe infrared light, in some of its peripheral vision somewhere right there, was also able to observe Betelgeuse during its dimming period. And the scientists that have accidentally discovered this determined that Betelgeuse changed its temperature by approximately 140 degrees Celsius, in the process also discovering potential signs of dust or some kind of matter covering the star itself, which of course gives more credibility to the scenario right here, and of course confirms that something caused Betelgeuse to release huge amounts of matter all at once. And so in this paper, the scientists proposed that any kind of a random visitor, for example a black hole, a white dwarf, or even a neutron star, would actually be able to produce all of these effects if it passed at a certain distance away from the star, causing a tidal disruption, with their models establishing that 60% dimming effect could definitely be created by this particular event. But unfortunately, because there is no other evidence otherwise, and because we haven't really seen any other emissions such as X-rays, or really anything else indicating a black hole, a neutron star, or even a white dwarf passing here, at the moment it's more or less just a novel explanation, an interesting and intriguing explanation, but not necessarily the most correct one. But right now, these are the best explanations we have about what might have happened. So possibly a black hole, white dwarf, neutron star passing nearby, or possibly a large, massive planet being swallowed by Betelgeuse a few hundred years ago, as it transformed from one stage to another, and as the planet, still possibly orbiting somewhere within the star, is essentially causing all of these disruptions. Or maybe something else entirely happened and we just don't really know what yet. Chances are though, we're going to be coming back and talking more about this in some of the future videos. These are really intriguing propositions and really intriguing investigations, but they just need more evidence. More observations, more discoveries about something coming from Betelgeuse, and not just modeling, proposition, and theories. But until we discover something else, that's pretty much all I wanted to mention. All of the links and papers in the description below. Thank you for watching, subscribe, share this with someone who loves learning about space and sciences, come back tomorrow to learn something else, and maybe support this channel on Patreon by joining channel membership or by buying the Wonderful Person t-shirt you can find in the description. Stay wonderful, I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, bye-bye.
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 Yeah, it's good to speculate, but at least you're having an educated guess of what could be going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think more or less what he's saying is that Betelgeuse is not necessarily going to go supernova any day now, as some might think. That's what I think anyway.
Have we had any stars ever go like that in our, not in our lifetime, but in recorded history? That's something that's known?
No, I don't think so. Could be wrong though. I think maybe very distant stars, maybe very, very distant ones.
Don't say the name again.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say that star then.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
We just do the scene from the film where he goes, "What? Betelgeuse?"
Yeah.
Ooh, I've got 38 upvotes.
I mean, I've had some people say that if it does go supernova, it's going to be bigger and brighter than the moon. I've had some people say you'll be able to barely see it. Some people say it will just be like a big bright star in the sky and stuff like that.
In other words, they don't know.
They don't know. Yeah. I can't imagine it be as big as bright as the moon, as some people are claiming it be.
Yeah, that'd be quite something, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah. I mean, you can be as sure as shit. It's going to be, you'd be able to see it with the naked eye. That's for sure. But
oh yeah.
How big? I don't know.
And I haven't looked into James Webb yet, but are they only looking at certain section of the universe with James Webb at the moment, or they haven't? They're not looking at a different area of the universe, or they're only just looking at one section.
Well, they're looking at they're looking at all kinds of various ones, but they've got different organisations have booked the time with it. You see.
Oh, okay.
So they're booked up for years ahead, years and years and years ahead now. Because all kinds of different organisations, all the way from NASA to all kinds of bodies around the world, all want a piece of it. So they need to pay for the time quite often.
So if I want to look over there, I've got to book it in to say, okay, I want to look at that part of the sky. Yeah, okay.
But I think Terry Davies living in Australia, he's not going to get a chance to have a bit of time to look at a particular area of with James Webb, sadly. But, yeah. I'm sure they probably will look at Betelgeuse. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know, I don't know if they still are, but they've been looking at our own solar system recently, haven't they? So what they're looking at the moment, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll get an update of James Webb, probably not just yet, but...
Yeah, that'd be good to do that, I think. Wouldn't it?
Not just yet. I'll get a summary.
Would you like to know what's happening with Artemis?
It's on its way back. It's on its way back to Earth.
No, nothing. Nothing's happening. This is what's going on right now. Absolutely nothing. It's near the moon. That's about all you can say just at this moment in time.
You know, the stick I got, that NASA had posted something about it in their Twitter stream, and I sort of said, "Oh, I found the lack of film coverage disappointing." The stick I got, because people obviously presume that I'm some sort of flat earther. It's like, no. When they launch a bloody thing, no. As soon as it had gone beyond view of their cameras, we got their crappy CGI, and I'm sorry, I think it is crappy CGI. It's not even photorealistic. Yeah. And it's like, you couldn't at least have put a bloody camera on the rocket body so we could, like SpaceX do, so we could watch the launch from it. It's like publicity. What do we need to publicise this for? Why do we need to put cameras all over it? Who'd be interested in that? Hello?
Just half the world. I do agree with the launch. They could have done better. They really could have done. That was
atrocious. I thought I was watching bloody Indians launching the satellite into space again. No sooner as it got up, you switched to dodgy CGI.
There's no real excuse in terms. I mean, they can give excuses for the Deep Space Network because the bandwidth is pretty crappy. We do have live coverage of it now from time to time when it's working, as you can see on the screen.
Spot on.
But they can only do that from time to time if they're downlinking, mission critical data. Then no, you're not going to get it because the bandwidth has been used up. But in terms of while it's taken off, when it's lift off, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, that was shoddy.
Yeah, it could have been better. I do agree. Could have been better.
I always find it really weird because there's the flat earthers saying, they didn't have this trouble in 1969. And it's sort of like, well, first of all, you don't think it happened. And second of all, there wasn't as much space traffic as there was in 1969 with the network. There's like none.
But I'm kind of glad you put that up, Terry, because I've put you can see the graphic of the orbit that it's doing. You can see below the live coverage there. Because distant retrograde orbit is quite a unique orbit that's never actually been tried before. As far as I know, at least not by NASA anyway. Don't
It always look weird when it gets that spot, where the intersect here. It's like the thing just stops. Well, not this one, the bottom one is probably better.
So it kind of does appear that way. Yeah.
When it gets around and spins around and it's in the same spot for a second, and the moon's heading off, and then it shoots back into Earth.
Yeah, well, that kind of spin away from around the moon as it goes, sort of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
But initially it sort of almost like slows down to almost nothing for a period, and then
I thought that was quite good because they had a few graphics of it orbiting the moon, and you had these very weird orbits around the moon. But when you see that graphic, it makes much more sense as to what it's actually doing.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, it took me a while to get my head around this because apparently they'd been looking into this and modeling it and all the rest of it, and they've tested it mathematically, and in theory it could work. And and then NASA decided that because what they wanted to do was the reason why they chose this orbit is because they really wanted to put the Orion spacecraft through its paces, through like an elongated period. Okay, fair enough. You could do it just by a normal equatorial orbit around the moon, but it doesn't really put it through its paces. It doesn't really test it fully, especially in a kind of he really wanted to get into deep space. So what it's using is using the balance of the L1 and L2 Lagrange points to kind of spin it around. See that part where it goes beyond the orbit of the moon? It's going around, I think it's L2 it's going around, I think. So it's doing this kind of balance between L1 and L2, the forces of the gravity from the sun and the Earth as well, all at the same time. And in theory, well, I think it can with this particular orbit as well, is that it could keep doing that orbit indefinitely. The only reason why it's going back to Earth is because they're making the Orion spacecraft do that in that particular graphic.
Yeah,
but it just means that it's fuel efficient, so they don't have to do station keeping. They don't have to keep doing burns to keep it into an orbit. With an equatorial orbit, you would need to, because eventually the orbit would decay. But with this particular orbit, it won't.
It just gets dragged along at this point.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why they wanted to test it out. So Artemis 2 would do more or less the same thing. Artemis 3 is going to be a bit different because they'll start off doing that kind of orbit, but then it makes it easier to get into a polar orbit, because that's what they want to do for Artemis 3, because they're going to land in the South Pole. So they're going to need to do a polar orbit. So it's all kind of planned.
Okay. Have we got enough images of the moon when it went around? I know there's one of them where you could see the Earth in the background. There's that one.
They haven't released, they haven't released any more. I've been watching, but they haven't done. They're taking their time to get them to us, but I suppose they're having to downlink it all, and I suppose the engineers want to get their sticky fingers on it first to have a look. That's pretty important, I suppose.
Sticky fingers.
And then and then by the time they finish with it, we might get a look in then with any luck. But yeah, I haven't seen any new footage or new photograph. There was one photograph that was released, but it was from the one of the navigation cameras, and it's in black and white of the surface of the moon, but it's very nondescript. It's not very exciting. Doesn't really show very much at all. Just shows a load of craters in black and white on the moon. It's nothing really exciting. But we won't see very much. But it made me laugh. The conference the other night, there was a couple of media types. One of them was complaining that, well, why can't we get images of the Apollo 11 site? And you can tell it was by somebody of one of these kind of technology magazines. Like they said, oh, go and do this about the Artemis, knew nothing about it, forgetting that, of course, the moon is actually in new moon phase at the moment. So you're not going to see anything from Apollo 11 site because it's dark.
Yep.
But apparently on the way back, it's not going to be in new moon anymore. So we might get some images of that, which might be good. Might be a bit better. And they're going to be, and so the orbit going back when it gets the closest flyby, it's going to be even closer. I think it was something like 81 statute miles, kilometers or something. I think. Oh no, I can't remember now. But yeah, but it's going to get even closer anyway. So it should be good.
Well, Wally just dropped another one, so we might just watch.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Oh yeah. I like Wally.
It seems to be only a
That's what
quickie.
that's what they're saying in the chat.
Yeah,
Peanuts,
I was reading.
Good.
Oh God, not this flat sword. Oh,
you
God.
love him. You love him, farmers.
No,
you do.
No, he's no.
Just
no.
He's about as thick as 2 short planks.
Oh, he's got to be a Poe. He's got to.
No, I know. I genuinely think he thinks the Earth is flat. He's that stupid and dumb. I really do. He's not. I don't think.
Some of the responses. Yeah, some of his responses is obviously clearly he's not a Poe. He's actually idiotic because they're not sensible or any. They're just ridiculous.
I love the polls that every time Flatsoid does a poll on his own live streams, they all go against him every time.
Now you will find that I think that has now changed.
Oh, is it? All right.
Yeah, because I think he's realised first you could only join in if you'd subscribed to his channel, but I think now you can only comment in the side chat if you are actually a member. I'd heard somewhere.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Because yes, all of his polls he was putting up, he was losing because most of his audience aren't flat earthers.
They're just coming to see how stupid he's to be.
Yeah, they're coming in, seeing how stupid he is. He puts up a poll, and obviously they vote for the right answer, which, as far as he's concerned, is the wrong answer.
And then unsubscribe and bugger off.
I don't know whether that is actually the case, but I had seen somewhere somebody said, "Oh, but he's now changed it, so you've got to be a member." I don't know. I'll have to see the next time he does a live stream and
I didn't think that was. I didn't know that was possible. I mean, you could put subscriber only on, but I don't know how he's not able to comment.
No, I think you can put it so only members of the channel can.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I just wasn't aware that it was. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I put subscribers only on my thing because I was getting these bloody spam bots coming on.
That's quite a good way to limit those is to make it subscriber only. But how difficult is it to subscribe to a channel and make comments? And then, like you said, if you've made some comments and got the usual nonsense, well, you just unsubscribe again afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Terry.
Yes, Matt.
You want to press play?
Do I have to?
Well, only if you want to.
only if you want to watch the video, yeah.
You like Wally then?
Oh yes.
Can't hear any. Unless he's not talking. No, look, he's taking a piss out of Artemis. Yeah, and?
Let's see the issue.
No.
What?
No, I suspect I know what he's going to say, but it's not an issue.
Oh, he had to get his image from space.com.
No, the Earth is dark and then gets bigger and bigger.
Coming from this side, shown.
See how it's going dark?
And just because it's called
and you know why that is?
Side of the moon does not mean that the light's not supposed to shine on the moon that side, because the moon is looking that way to Earth and the sun is behind Orion. Please tell me again how it's not fake.
God, here he goes. No?
I got no idea what he's misconstrued.
I actually think that was one of the solar things in the dark covering up the Earth, or what? I think it's the Earth or the Moon. Can't remember. I think it's the Earth.
Solar thing? What do you mean the solar thing?
One of the solar panels is actually down and to the right.
Oh right, okay.
So it's black because it's in shadow.
Shown and Orion, and Just because it's called the dark side of the moon does not mean that the light's not supposed to shine on
That's the
moon
Earth, right?
side,
Not the moon.
because the moon is
that is the Earth.
That is the Earth.
That
Yes.
way to Earth,
And I think
sun
there's
is
actually a solar panel
behind
that's black
Orion.
in the bottom part of the screen.
Please tell me again how it's not fake.
Because I think if you look onto the, if you go back a little bit, and I could be wrong, I have to check this out. That's on. If you can pause it there, so
it kind of
that hinge there, to the bottom right is actually the hinge for a solar panel.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, yeah, right. Because if you look at
you look at the other solar panel, it's in black, except for the bit that's reflected by the sun. You can't actually see it.
I'm actually watching. I'm watching the original video that NASA Johnson posted on their Flickr page.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find you're absolutely right, because that is a very definite, sharp, straight line.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, going across. Because let me go all the way back to the start. Right, you can't see the Earth at all.
The sun is
and then the Earth starts to appear with a very straight line across it. That's a solar panel.
That's not
the way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. It is a solar panel.
Yeah. Because there's 4 solar panels and there's 2 on each side, and we can only see one. It's the black one that we can't see. Because I looked at this image earlier, and I thought, oh, that looked a bit weird, and then I looked at it, I think that's.
So we got an original one of them on a NASA site or something like that?
Yeah, if you go to okay, go ahead.
You go.
No, if you go onto NASA's images, you can just do an image search, and if you type in Orion, you'll bring them all up.
I've just put the link in the YouTube side chat to the NASA Johnson Flickr page, because that's where I go. Yeah, that's where I go to for all of my NASA related photos, because it's updated day by day, and they've got this video on there.
Yep.
In whatever K it is.
Yeah, it's definitely the solar panel, because like you said, it's a straight shadow.
There's one missing there, because there should be a solar panel either side of the one that we can see. There has to be another one, because
so there's a few seconds when there we go, and there's the Earth starting to appear, and that is a dead straight line cutting across that. That's not the Terminator, that's the solar panel getting in the way. And you can't see the solar panel because obviously it's in the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
If I copy the picture, I wonder if I can quickly throw that in into. I don't know if it'll show up in Facebook, in Photoshop, but I'll see if I do a little chroma correction, where you can see any artifact of the.
So there are a few good photos in that album.
But first of all, he's wrong anyway, because it's not the moon; it's definitely the Earth.
Yes,
for a start.
Yes. So I suppose if you're going to get it wrong, go for it and really get it wrong.
Yeah, he's got it horribly wrong, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So if I put that into Photoshop, I don't know if there's enough depth of difference to actually pick it up, but I'll see. Because the color, it's not the greatest resolution in terms of colors.
No, I can't make it bigger.
Yeah, no, I'm looking to see if I do some editing. I'm not using the original, I'm just using a screenshot of what's on the screen. I probably need to get the original footage, or something a little bit more original than this. Let's see if it works. Yeah.
I just wonder what these were. Oh, there's this one.
Yeah, there's a few videos on there.
Interesting. I'll finish off with Simon.
Yeah.
And we're still here by the look of it. No hiccups so far.
Don't jinx it. Fuck's sake, don't jinx it.
I was touching wood.
Really? Do you need to go?
Does Matt fall asleep?
I guess so.
Ah.
No, sorry, I was just I was looking for something. You want to press play, Terry?
Yes, I can. Now you can go back to what you were looking for.
Dinosaur Adventureland is the place that Kent Hovind calls home. It has forever been the place of what he calls science communication and regularly gives tours around it. Tours which include the Science Centre, a science centre which has its own tour guide. A tour guide who's been giving science lessons on Kent's channel. Yep, you all know what this means, don't you? Roll the intro. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, knives and help support the channel. Right, back to today's video, which as I stated at the start, we're taking a look at the Science Centre at Kent Hovind's Dinosaur Adventureland. We start with a video from the Science Centre tour guide Damien, who's going to talk to us all about how dinosaurs used to live with humans.
Welcome to Dinosaur Adventureland. This is the Science Centre, day 6, where we go over the dinosaurs. So we've got some interesting things here. Here's a picture of fossilized dinosaur skin. You'll notice the circles in the skin of the dinosaurs. These are Ica stones from Peru, over 1,000 years old. They depict dinosaurs on the stones, and you can actually see the circles in the skin of those dinosaurs. Interesting.
Ah, the Ica stones. Ancient stones discovered by a farmer who went on to admit that he actually carved some of them himself. This one isn't going to fly, Damien. Moving on.
How did they know about dinosaurs 1,000 years ago? We only started piecing the bones together in the 1800s. How did they know? How did they know specifically what the skin looked like?
I just said, matey, because a farmer faked them.
We can compare that skin to other reptiles here. We can see the circles in their skin. You got the Draco flying lizards. Reptiles never stop growing throughout their lifetimes. On day 2, we go over Dr. Hovind's canopy theory. If there was an ice canopy that encapsulated the world when God originally created it, it's likely that we had more oxygen and more air pressure.
Ah, the ice canopy theory. Kent Hovind believes that when God first created the Earth, he did so with an enormous big canopy of ice covering the entire planet.
We actually find the proof of this in fossilized amber with the air bubbles that have 32% oxygen in them. We're only breathing in 21%, so that's 50% more oxygen.
Well, yes, there was more oxygen in prehistoric times than there is today. And there are a variety of reasons for that, of course. But it would be interesting to see how Damien makes allowances for that.
So if the reptiles had 50% more oxygen under greater air pressure, they would be growing much, much bigger. They would live a lot longer.
Well, this was around 350 million years ago. The largest dinosaur that ever lived, the Titanosaur, did so between 145 and 66 million years ago. Now, at that point in time, the oxygen levels in the atmosphere were far lower than the 35% that you've just claimed.
Here we've got one of Dr. Hovind's longevity charts here. People living before the flood into their 900s, floods happening here, and you see how the ages drop off rapidly after the flood.
Oh, the global flood that there is no evidence for. And the 900-year-old people, which again, there's no evidence for. Great. Good stuff, Damien.
Well, it says during the flood, the fountains of the deep broke open. So if the crust of the earth was one solid piece before that flood, imagine all the pressure built up under the crust. If all of a sudden it gets released with enough force, it might be shooting rocks up into the atmosphere. If that ice canopy's there, it would shatter. All the super cold ice being magnetic would have been drawn to the poles. You get your polar ice caps.
I think you're confusing regular ice with superconducting magnets, which need to be really, really cold. But that is a pretty wild stretch all the same, isn't it? I mean, come on.
They find mammoths frozen, standing up, with food still in their mouth. How do you freeze a mammoth so fast he can't even finish chewing? Well, he could have been buried in ice from the canopy shattering.
Crushed by ice, not buried. To be buried in ice, usually you would have to be within the water, before it freezes. Now, this magical mammoth just so happens to be able to withstand huge chunks of ice falling on top of him, all while staying up, standing, and keeping food in his mouth. Absolutely incredible animal.
If the canopy shattered, the air would spread out, less concentration of oxygen, less air pressure. We're not getting shielded from UV radiation we're soaking in from the sun anymore. We're aging a lot faster as a result of what happened during Noah's flood. The reptiles aren't growing as big as they used to. Here we've got a Jackson chameleon. He's got the 3 horns, the ridge behind the horns. You could take a good look at his skin. You can see the similarities there between the dinosaurs. Now,
well, chameleons did evolve shortly after the end of the dinosaurs around 65 million years ago, so it's no surprise.
If he kept on growing and got to a big size, what do you think you'd call him? Could be a little triceratops right there in the jar.
Well, no, because it's a chameleon, isn't it? Not a dinosaur. You'd end up having a giant chameleon.
So the reptiles are not growing as big as they used to. What about the veiled chameleon? Doesn't he look like a little dinosaur? Fascinating. Could be a parasaur. Oh, there's an example for you that we might still even be living with these dinosaurs today. They're just not as big as they used to get before the flood.
We are all living with dinosaurs today. Lots of them.
Yeah.
So come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Come take the Science Center tour where we go over a lot more details about some of the dinosaurs that are alive today. Thanks for joining us. God bless.
There is nothing more that I would like than to come to Dinosaur Adventureland and have a Science Center tour. Trust me on that, Damien. Now, let's move on to Mr. Kent Hovind himself, who is giving an example of the normal tour he takes of Dinosaur Adventureland, where he stops off on the tour to give a little talk about frogs.
One of the places we stop on the real tour we take at Dinosaur Adventureland is right here by the fence, where I ask all the kids with me on the tour, or the adults, what is this thing right here? And almost always they say, a frog.
Well, yes, it does look like a frog, I guess so.
I say, no, look at it again. That's a frog. No, kids, that's a stuffed animal.
No, it's not a stuffed animal if you're going to be pedantic, Kent. It's a stuffed toy. Good try, though.
Nobody with half a brain cell functioning would think this thing made itself.
Okay, what's that got to do with anything?
Did somebody make this, or did it make itself? Duh, somebody made it. This is a stuffed animal. Now, it looks like a frog. Everybody would agree this thing had a creator. But they look at a real frog and say, nobody made it. The real frog made itself over millions of years. The real frog has a circulatory system, a digestive system, a reproductive system, integumentary system, a skeletal system, a nervous system. I think it was designed.
Yet we have evidence that the first frogs existed over 250 million years ago.
There are 7,371 species of frogs in the world. They might have had a common ancestor called a frog. That doesn't prove elephants are related to pine trees.
And no one is saying that it does prove this. The common ancestor of all frogs is the Ichthyosaga. But what's really interesting is the number of species of frogs just seemed to explode around 65 million years ago. I wonder why that could be.
These atheists, they see the varieties of frogs, which we all agree, there's a lot of them, 7,000. They'll say, see, boys and girls, look at all these frogs. Yeah, that proves everything's related. No, teacher. That proves maybe the frogs are related, but it doesn't prove the pine trees are related to whales.
Maybe the frogs are related. Maybe. Oh my word, he can't concede anything, can he?
You guys, I don't know how you can be so dumb in this area. You know somebody made this. You know that. But you think nobody made this.
Yep, that's the long and the short of it. Of course, the stuffed toy was made in a matter of hours, and actual frogs evolved over millions and millions of years.
I don't know if I can help that kind of stupid. Maybe there's a pill or something. Try something. Watch my video series on drdino.com, a creation seminar series. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Take the real tour.
Oh, that actually does look fun. No, I can't. Well, there we go. A fascinating look at Kent's Park there and his science centre. Now, Damien has a load more science videos which we can look at Let me know in the comments if you're interested in me having a look at those. But for now, we're all done and dusted for another Tinfoil Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. It truly is appreciated. If you would consider subscribing, that would be appreciated as well. If you really enjoyed the video, hit that like button. And if you really enjoyed it, then please do share at will. Just enough time to once again thank Kamikoto for sponsoring today. Remember, visit kamikoto.com/SimonDan and use my promo code SimonDan to get an extra $50 off on top of the special offers they've already got going on at the moment. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you on Friday for the Flat Earth Fail compilation 42. See you then.
Just want to say I was wrong about that image. It's not the solar array.
Yes, I see what you mean now. I'm just watching it now. Yeah.
Why
It is
is
the
it not?
moon.
Why?
It's the
It's the
moon.
moon. So
You can't see the moon because it's on what is literally the dark side of the moon.
But that Terminator line is not a Terminator line though. It can't be.
No.
It's too straight. So it's got to be a.
No,
solar
I've just downloaded the high resolution image from NASA. I'll just share it. Let's share screen. Let's share that screen.
It's Earth rising up from behind the moon.
Share. You can share that, Terry.
There it goes.
Can you see it?
Yep, you got it.
Are we going out? Are we going out to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the high resolution image, just as it comes up. If you look at that, which is a little bit closer, and look at the line, you can see it isn't as straight as we thought.
Gotcha.
You just see the rough. It's a little bit of a wobbly line, not a. Just pause it there. So you can see it's a bit of a wobbly line, and that's when I checked the. Sorry, before I got to this, I actually checked the NASA site, and that's what.
Yeah,
NASA
but that bright thing that we can
says.
actually see is not the moon, though, is it?
No, it's the Earth.
No,
the Earth.
no, the dark. What's dark?
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me finish what I'm saying. So the light thing that we can actually see is the Earth, though, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So
That's
but
what's
what we're seeing, yeah. Hold on. But so what you're saying is what we're seeing is the what we think is the Terminator line isn't, but it's because it's coming up from behind the moon.
Yeah.
Because we're
That's
looking at the dark part of the moon, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
That's what they've titled it: Earthrise as seen from orbit, Orion spacecraft.
Gotcha.
From the Orion spacecraft, and Earthrise is behind the moon in this video captured. So that's what we're actually seeing is dark is the moon.
Yeah,
it's not got enough light for us to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if anyone asks, that's what it is. So yeah, so that was. You can see it a bit better on the high resolution, and actually it's a much clearer image of Earth too. So
yeah,
it's quite a good one actually.
So basically, because from at that point it was relatively close to the moon, you're only seeing a small part of the moon, and that happens to be what the Earth is rising up from behind. And that's why you can't see the moon, because I'm sure if it was further away, you'd be able to see some of the moon, because I bet at that particular angle, not all of the moon is dark. But
I'm sure if we use solar sphere or something like that and put in the right time, I'm sure if I put in that solar sphere, whatever that program is, and check the position of everything, you would see that it was the backside of the.
It would have made sense if it was a solar panel to an extent, but then thinking about it, because if you look at the way that solar panel that's in front is orientated, you would actually probably see it. But I could understand why you'd think it was the solar panel.
Well, I wondered because I was thinking it was the shadow. Can you see this one is in shadow and you can't see where it's in shadow? It's pitch black. So I know that they have the rays close to each other, or they spread them out. They can move them around. So I figured, where's the other one? I thought it might have been there, but according to NASA, it's the moon. So there you go.
They should know.
Well, you would hope so. So I think this is meant. I don't know if this is. So when did they say this was filmed? So this was on, and you may know a bit better, the flight day 6. Would that have been?
That would have been the 21st. That would have been the 21st, Monday.
Yeah. So as it came around the back of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after it had gone around onto the dark side, well,
Yeah.
obviously the
Around the
backside
other side.
from the Earth.
Yeah.
So we know the image on the other side, the light was on that side because we've seen the image from the other side.
Yeah, because as
And
we
then
know,
this was this-
it was more or less new moon, wasn't it, on Monday? So
yeah. So as it lost communication, it was definitely on the bright side. So this technically it should be on the dark side in the community.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you Timber, if you do a video about it, I'll put it on my channel.
Okay. I'll do a little video.
Yeah, do a little video.
A little one. That's it.
I'll link it to the channel, but
and just
do it as a debunk of what Flatsoid was trying to do. Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
Flatsoid said, and just say he didn't do his research. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shocker. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'll put it on my. I'll mirror it and I'll link you to it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put something together. A little one. I was going to do another one on because I saw one go up on Bev's channel about they thought the Earth was round and they drew all these pictures of the round Earth and Hollywood said it was round. Funny enough, it was round when they went up and looked. I was sort of like, duh.
Yeah. Of course it was.
And it was sort of like, oh, Hollywood told us what it would look like, and then I've got all these images of what Hollywood said the Earth looked like before they actually saw it. It doesn't look quite good, except that it's pale blue. Maybe it's about it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I'll do a little one on that since I bothered to download the video.
Do me a favor, can you link that particular one you used there, Timbo?
In the
Do you want the download link or the?
No, the
sure.
one you used the NASA image, not the Flickr.
Yeah,
one.
that's
the one from NASA.
No, that's the one I posted in my link. Is the NASA one, I think.
Where have you posted?
Check.
Where have you posted?
In
YouTube side chat.
Oh, you got it in the
side
YouTube
chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see the images, NASA, Gov, details, blah blah blah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going there now. Gotcha. Yep.
The last thing I posted in there. That's a link to the download page.
I've got about 20 tabs open at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I was gonna copy it and put it over in Tech Doc videos or somewhere over there.
Sure.
That way we've
got it's a much nicer video than the Twitter one because there's so much more detail.
Yeah. You put a copy over there for me?
Yeah, I've done this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Judy. Thanks, Thurston the second. Oh, I've got to scroll up. Why isn't I scrolling? Working. Did I forget to do something? What's going on here?
Let me post anything there. That's the link I posted into TikTok videos, but you left it there. Oh, actually, the other link.
I just want to say a personal thank you to Judy. She knows what for. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Who else did we have out there? Nerd Alert, Journalism, Rodent, Larry, Anamorphic, Fred, Demon Orb, Ozzie, NRG, Carl, Judy, get another M-Ball, Larry DeMarch, Stewie, Zebulon, did I say Zebulon? Nerd Alert, Demon Orb again. Keeping going up. Up. Oh, then we've got to hear Joe Whip, And a new subscriber, I hope. Professor Parks, PhD, I hope. Oh, that's everybody out there. Alright. Close that off. Oh, thanks, Timbo. Thanks, Farmer's Boy. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Lev Landau. Thanks, Big Blue.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peanuts. So, we'll be able to do this without any hiccups next Saturday. So, we should
Fingers
be all
crossed.
good. We should be all good. So, it's good night, panel, and good night, Peanuts.
Yeah.
Good night, Peanuts.
Good night.
And did we
Good
get
night
any
from
words
him, and it's good night from me.
Any words of wisdom we got? We have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
I've got.
Go on, Timmy.
I was going to say there are two types of people in the world: those that are able to draw conclusions from available data.
What's the other one? Go on, say it out loud. I want to hear him say it though.
He did.
He did.
He did.
All right, okay.
You spoiled it, Matt.
I actually have the T-shirt with the proper quote on it. It says, there are two types of people in this world. One, those that can extrapolate from incomplete data.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get it. It's just sunk in now. Sorry. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't wear it anymore. I still got it in a drawer somewhere. And the number of people who asked me to turn around to see what was written on the back.
Yeah, sorry, it's just sunk in. I'm a bit slow today, very slow.
There are two kinds of people in the world: those that can't do mathematics, and those of us who look after them.
But yeah, they'd ask you to turn around. They'd look at your back, and then there'd be a pause, and then they'd give an embarrassed laugh as if they got the joke, and it's like, yeah, thank you.